John, I think the hazmat suit is a bit much. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I think
I'm not breathing the air.
I think I
can't believe you actually made me come here.
You look like goddamn Marty McFly from Back to the Future. The least you could do is put some headphones on me and pretend to be Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan.
I think I can do that.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rage Select Podcast here at Rage Select. I'm Jeff.
Okay, that thing's too hot. I'll just deal with the plague.
Okay.
I'm John, by the way.
Yep. And John's back in my person. I've been medicating for a week now. I'm pretty sure that I'm out of the danger zone.
He promised me he no longer has the clap.
I don't. I do have the space
hepatitis,
but super hep, obviously. But that's. We've known about that for a long time. Space herpes. Yeah, all the different things. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, who didn't watch the live stream or whatever, this is embarrassing. It's an embarrassing thing, but last week I found myself with a case of ringworm, which just, ew.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is that I don't know where I got it. Like, I didn't get it from my dog. I don't leave my house. It's not like I'm going to the gym. I'm not in a locker room or anything.
Yeah, I was really confused. and then when you're like, yeah, he took Archer to the vet, and then, he's completely clear.
Man, listen, I don't have any money, all right? I don't know if you people at home know this, but Rage Select is not exactly a Donald Trump billion-dollar business that I've sit in my golden ivory throne. I don't have a lot of money to throw around, but I went to the free clinic. I spent $130. I actually spent more on like cleaners and cleansers and disinfectants and wipes and stuff like that. And then I spent like $250 at the vet just for them to go, nope, there's nothing on him. He doesn't. And I was like, this guy has got to be. This got to be. Also, by the way, boy, the free clinic is a shit show.
Yeah.
I did this. Oh man. Okay. So I had this problem. I wanted to find out whether or not this was just some, it's like, oh, that's just turns out that's gamer ring. That's a thing that all gamers get from time to time, but you've never heard of it because you don't ever leave your house. I wanted to go to an actual medical doctor and have them tell me, yes, this is this, and put this cream or cleanser, aloe vera or whatever on it.
He expected to walk in and they go, you have the deadly mutable virus.
Oh, man. Or Zika, or like SARS Zika, or like SARS Zika mad cow. I was going to have all of them. But no, so here's the thing. I stay up really, really late, and there's a place, I don't know if you know, right by my house. Right, You know that big thing that's right by my house? That's a fucking community health center.
Dude, we're literally right around the corner from a giant medical facility.
No. You don't understand. That building that's next to the Q-Mart?
No. I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, in a completely different area, the opposite direction, there's a giant fucking emergency room and medical center.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go there. They're going to charge me like $6,000 for a walk-in. But I thought, hey, this is like, I live in I don't live in the ritziest area of Austin, so I figure, okay, this is going to be kind of like a low-income health center. I looked up their website. They've got like sliding pay scale, blah, blah. I don't have insurance, yada, yada. So that place opens at 7 o'clock in the morning, and here I am, and I'm like, I got to go to the doctor, and I got done with all my video shit at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, okay, if I go to sleep now, I'm going to wake up at noon. That's what's going to happen. So I decided to stay up all night and just go at 7 and then come home and nap after I was done there. So I stay up all night. It's 7 a.m. I haul my cookies over there, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to do anything for you here. You have to go to the garbage one. You have to go to the walk-in free clinic, where whatever. So I go to the free clinic, and they signed me in, and I waited for, I think I was there for like a grand total of like 3 or 4 hours, and it was like
sounds about right.
Good 90 minutes to 2 hours before I even walked into a waiting room, and I was in a waiting room for 3 hours or for like an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. But dumbass me, I didn't charge my phone. So my phone ran out of juice by the time that I got to this place. And I was also so goddamn tired that I was sitting in this waiting room trying not to fall asleep because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what happens at the free clinic waiting room. I don't know what happens. You wake up, you got no kidneys. They're just like, dumbass, you fell asleep. We get to take your kidneys now. Kidney tax.
We give them to people who actually need them.
Yeah. So I ended up watching, they had this one terrible television in this waiting room, and they were showing like medical TV on
Sounds
here.
about right.
That was like, here's 12 tips for this thing, or they had like this cooking segment. There, I was there for like 2 hours. I watched like 4 cooking segments. This lady was just like, "We're going to show you how to make Heart Smart mini pizzas," and boy, they looked disgusting. Everything she was making looked completely disgusting. It's like, instead of cheese, try putting grated carrots on top, and it's like, that's not the same thing. What are you, a crazy person? That's not the same thing. Anyway. So anyway, long story short, I had ringworm last week, and I've been medicating it, and I still have it, but because apparently it's kind of hard to get rid of, but I shouldn't be passing it around anymore. So
yeah, apparently,
allegedly,
I swear to God,
allegedly,
I swear to God, the wrath that'll come down on you.
I will cover all of your free clinic medical bills. I will cover the $97.
I've got health insurance, motherfucker.
You got a leg up on me. Oh man. So yeah, that was my last week, and it's just been. I've done more laundry in the last week. It's like every 2 days I'm like washing my sheets and clothes and everything. I mean, half the time when people come over here, I've been wearing the same clothes for 3 days. But
did you ever think maybe that's part of the problem?
But where would it have come from? It's not like it. You have to get it from other ringworms. You don't like. It's just. I've been doing that for years now. I haven't had a problem. I haven't had any problems. I don't know. I think somebody snuck. I think you snuck in here. I think it was like that scene in Ocean's 13 where they go to the guy's room and they drop the little drops on the bed. I think there was a montage part where they were playing some John Holmes music in the background, and you and another guy in a suit were like walking up to my door and like coming in and pet my dog. And
why would I infect you with ringworm?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm like the only person who likes coming over here and playing video games with you.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm like the last person that would do that.
Maybe I don't know. If there was a thing a couple weeks ago where you were just like, "Oh, that motherfucker! Oh, that motherfucker!" And then it was like, "You just call me a motherfucker to my face." No, I'm going to concoct an elaborate scheme to give you a skin disease that's mildly irritating.
Sure, it wasn't Murphy,
dude. He wouldn't come this far north. Jason Murphy wouldn't come this far north for anything.
Or Grant. Did you make him play another JRPG?
No. We played Grow Up last time he was over here. It was fine. I guess it was fine. No, I don't know. I don't know who the nefarious villain is who gave me ringworm. The only thing I can think of is that it was really rainy last week.
Was it Joe?
And then it was Joe. It was Joe.
He finally just had enough.
It was Joe the whole time. And then I went to the bar, and that some ass face, one of those creepy, crusty hipsters, came to my bar, my hideout, with ringworm, and then just like was touching a bunch of stuff in the bar, and there's been an outbreak, and that's been the vector is.
That's what you're thinking?
That's the only thing.
So next time you go to that bar, you're gonna be like, "Hey, have you heard any reports of ringworm?"
Ooh, weird conversation that would be to go. Hey man, hey bro, what can I get you today? Another Lone Star? I'd be like, no, so you guys had like a lot of ringworm here in the bar recently, and they'd be like, you need to go, you need to get out. But yeah, I don't know.
Or you go back and there's a sign on the door that says closed due to health violation due to ringworm.
They got my picture up behind the bar, like don't let this motherfucker in here.
Oh yeah, no, I went to your bar and told them.
Oh good, good. You've been calling everybody?
Yeah, I've been telling everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been my shit ass week. It's been kind of a shit ass summer for me, John.
Yeah.
It's been just a lot of stuff.
Stuff happens.
But I tell you what, before we move into the news, and we've got a Nintendo Direct, so we've got like a kind of a bunch of things to just roll through from the Nintendo Direct. Anything interesting happened to you recently?
No, I mean this week was Amanda's birthday.
Happy birthday, Amanda!
That's pretty much it. We've been, spending time together.
Okay,
like you do.
Okay. Well, I actually sat down. I didn't realize this was going to happen. I thought it was going to be in October, but Kingsglaive came out on
the movie.
Yeah, various streaming services last week.
Oh, it came out on streaming service. I know it went out in theaters.
No. I mean, like I went to Google Play and it's like, rent Kingsglaive.
Wow, I didn't know that. I know it comes out on DVD in October.
Yeah. So
I was planning on buying it in October.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
No, if you bought it on Google, then that's your thing.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. Does ringworm give you hallucinations? Is that a thing? Do you just?
I don't know. I've never had ringworm.
Have I had a fever dream?
You're the ringworm expert.
I'm the one. Yeah, right there. Boom.
Okay. Well,
$15. That's what I thought. So yeah, I watched it. I don't know if you know this, but like this thing has been really divisive. If you go look on Metacritic, it's got like a 50 on Metacritic or like a 40 or something. I think it's actually got a red score on Metacritic in the critic reviews, and it's got like an 8.5 for like the fan reviews.
I've heard different, like I've read different reviews in different places. Some places are like, it's good but uneven.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than all of the previous Square movies.
Well, that's not hard.
And,
Except for Advent Children.
Well, they even said it was better than Advent Children. They're like, yeah, it's better than Advent Children. It's got problems. Man, do I not want to play Final Fantasy 15 now? You know what? I want to play Final Fantasy 15 now. I'm excited. Oh, man. I hope that, I literally just like every review has been all over the fucking board.
Okay, so here's what I can tell you is, brief synopsis, and this is maybe like light spoilering for the game, but I feel like they've been so upfront with like what's going on in the game. Just the structure of the world in the game is that there's two kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
There's the Niflheim, who they got all mechs and airships and shit like that, and then there's the other people who I can't remember what the fuck their name is, and they're like, they do magic, and they've got like a city that's got a giant magic dome over it, protecting it from the aggressive Niflheimers. And so it starts like you see Noctis like as a kid in the very beginning, but the main thing is that the King's Guard in this universe is called the Kingsglaive, and they've all got they all have like a knife that they can use to throw and then teleport like you do in the game. But that like is power that is on loan from the king. And so the whole plot kind of revolves around this political thing where it's like Niflheim is suing for peace kind of, and they aren't sure whether it's a double cross or what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. The main character is this guy, Nyx, who is voiced by Aaron Paul, and he's one of the Kingsglaive, and he's like
and he looks like Ben Affleck.
It's the faces in here. I'll get to that in a minute, but it's real weird. The other weird thing is that Lena Headey is voicing the princess that apparently is betrothed to Noctis, who is kind of all over the place, and they're kind of being protected. Like he's got a whole team full of gobbledygook Kingsglaive people. The main problem with the movie, well, there's a couple of stylistic choices to get into, but the main issue with the movie is I feel like Square has gotten into a real bad habit recently, and I think you can see it in Final Fantasy 13 is a perfect example. Final Fantasy 10, maybe a little bit, maybe more, even 12, where I feel like their worlds have gotten really, really complicated, and I feel that part of that is and it may not even be their worlds are super complicated. It may just be that they've gotten really bad at naming things in their world, because this movie starts and just rattles off like 16 different hard to remember Final Fantasy names, and then they keep piling lore on top of that, referencing it to the point where I was kind of like pause for a second and just go, okay, wait, who is this guy again? And do we not like him? Do we like him? Are we because it gets really complicated, because you're talking about all these politics and whatever, but then it's also kind of trying to be like an action movie, and it's kind of suspenseful intrigue about court intrigue. What's going on? Are you going to get the double cross? Is it going to be Game of Thrones? What's going to happen? And then I feel like what you end up with there is a kind of interesting story, but it's so convoluted that I feel like just the structure of the thing starts to get in the way of keeping up with the story.
Okay.
Like when you think about Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII has like three things that you need to know. Cloud, he's in a group called Soldier. He's with the underground. He's hiring out to the underground. You've got the evil corporation Shinra that is robbing the essence out of the world, right? Easy peasy story. Flash forward to Final Fantasy 13, where it's like you've got I don't even remember. Lightning works for, you've got the C and the l'Cie, and if you get the mark, then you turn into a l'Cie, but they send you out into the world to go on a journey, and her sister's got the mark, but I've got her boyfriend turns into a lesbian motorcycle, and we all live in a giant it's like one of those things where you start to pile on so many things that you're just like, I don't really get what's going on here. It also doesn't help that Kingsglaive loves to fade to black. Like every fourth scene fades to black, and then just comes back up to the next scene, and it's like, this is weird because fade to black isn't something you should be using really super liberally in your movies. I mean, it indicates like a real hard stop where it's like every time they finish a vignette before they switch over to whatever the next scene is, the whole thing fades to a black screen and then pops back up in the next screen. It kind of has a weird jarring motion. The plus side, it's got some pretty decent action sequences. I think I would have maybe liked a little bit more fan service. Like there weren't any chocobos in there. They use magic, but it's always the same. They use shell an awful lot. Their version of shell they use all the time. They use lightning and fire a little bit, but nothing big, no big summons. Like that's what I liked about Advent Children is, fucking Bahamut's there, and you've got, all of these crazy callbacks to Final Fantasy. Whereas here, I guess it would be kind of impossible to call back. Also, it doesn't help, and I've been wondering this for a while, but let me know I'm sorry, I've been rambling here. Let me know your thoughts on this. Everybody in the universe of Final Fantasy 15 apparently wears black.
Yeah.
Or white.
Okay.
And no, seriously, like everybody wears like black or gray or white. Like nobody's, or if they're wearing like green, it's like a washed out, desaturated green shirt that might as well be gray.
Okay.
Like there's very little color in the entire thing, and so it starts to get real muddy. And it was the thing I was noticing when I was watching the preview footage about how all four of the main characters all wear black outfits, and how it seems like a really strange stylistic choice for me because you're trying to differentiate these four different characters, and yet they all dress they're all dressed in black.
You're talking about in the movie or in the game?
In the game, yeah.
Because they don't dress the same. I mean, their color schemes are the same, but their silhouettes are totally different.
Well, I know that, but they're all, at least in a lot of the preview footage, they're all wearing black outfits.
Yeah.
Like they're different. I played it, so I played the first demo where you could see the different outfits that they were wearing, but it just seems to me like, when I think back to previous Final Fantasy games, let's take a different example of even Final Fantasy 12, which was real muddy and brown. The difference between what the different characters were wearing. I don't know. Let's take it back to Final Fantasy 7. You think about Final Fantasy 7, everybody had a very kind of different color scheme and a different look to them that really made them very different, like kind of just visually set them apart from each other. And the thing about this is that it's not even just like in Kingsglaive, all of the glaives wear black all the time. They have like a black gray jacket that has a black t-shirt underneath it that has a very muted gold on it, but then they have like black pants. There's even a scene where one of the guys switches out of his uniform and he's wearing like a gray hoodie over kind of another black. I don't know. The princess is always wearing white the entire time. The king wears this kind of blackish gray outfit. The Niflheimian ambassador that comes, he's wearing white. He's got the hat. He's got a black hat and kind of black outfit. Everybody is wearing black or white. And because the world itself is also very modern looking, it's like the cars are all black. The city is very gray, stone. So it's just there's not much color in that movie at all. And, at least in the game footage that we've seen, when they're out running around in the field, they just got the big green field. You've got the yellow chocobos. The mechanic girl has like a yellow outfit on, right? Whereas here it was very, very gray.
Also,
the
the Brotherhood anime has been very colorful as well.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe in the game it's more so, but I think that it's just, there's a big plot point that comes up in the movie about the lore of like these kings, and they never really explain very much where they're from, but they turn out to be a big kind of sticking point in the movie plot as far as how we're going to wrap up the third act. And it's kind of like, okay. And they also have a little bit of a problem towards the end of the movie that kind of gets into the Star Wars Episode 3 problem where the final fight between the main two characters just goes on and on and on and on. And they're flying on top of airships, and they're falling off of an airship, and they're flying over to this thing, and they're flying over here, and they're just teleporting, and then this guy's jumping, and they're teleporting and jumping and teleporting and jumping and jumping and teleporting. And I kind of got a little fatigued from it after a little bit. So I don't know. All in all, I feel like it wasn't bad. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it or to I don't think I would go to a theater to see it. Maybe it's better in a theater, but it was okay. I don't think it really did anything for me when it comes to the game because it wasn't. The game looks like this road trip venture.
The thing about this movie is it takes place story-wise next to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're doing what you're doing in the game, this is going on elsewhere.
It makes me. I mean, I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but it makes me wonder. There's some momentous shit that happens in this thing, so it makes me wonder, like, when the game comes back to where the story was, there's going to be like, it's going to be some like, well, we left and everything was fine, and we came back, and it's just like all this shit has gone down.
Even in the in the anime, the Brotherhood anime, which I've been watching,
sure.
The reason they're on the road trip is they know shit's going down.
Yeah.
But they also know they have to go to this. They're on a road trip to a specific place for a specific reason.
Right.
Because if they don't get to that, and it's while they're on this road trip that shit starts to go down, and they get reports and get told, like, hey, get there, don't get captured, or else everything's fucked.
Right. Right.
And so this other country is coming in looking for them.
Sure. No, I mean, I get that.
So that's the plot of the game. So it's.
I guess it just, when I see what happened in the movie, it's like, that seems like the sort of thing that I should be seeing in the game. That seems like
I mean, you might see some of it in the game.
Maybe so. Anyway, I don't know. Watch at your risk. If you're, big ass fan, I mean, Jennifer went to go see it at Alamo in the theater, and I'm just like,
yeah, I don't think it's in theater anymore. I think it was like a one or two nights only kind of thing.
Yeah, it's worth watching. I mean, I would, they're doing that thing, at least on Google Play, which is where I get most of my videos, where you can't rent it, you have to buy it, and it's like $25.
Oh, ew.
I would definitely look for a way to rent this. I mean, I know it's on the PlayStation Store. I don't know if you can rent it there, but I would definitely look for, like, this is one of those definitely, I'm going to pay $4, I'm going to watch it once, maybe twice, and it's going to be fine. That's worth it. I don't think I would want to buy this or own it or shell out the cash to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could rent it for $5 and you could go buy a $20 indie game in addition to that.
I mean, it's all in all honesty. I use GameFly, and I put it in my list earlier today. That's how I know it comes out in October.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Is because it actually comes out the same release date that the game was originally. No.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to come out around the same point that the game was going to come out, and then they backed the game up. Which, by the way, I didn't really realize. I think I don't know if you were on when we reported that. It might have been Jennifer might have been on when we reported that they got pushed back. But I heard somebody. I think it was on the Jimquisition might have said that they pushed it back specifically to put their day one patch on the disc so that you didn't have to download it.
Something about that, yeah. I remember reading something about that.
Which, if that's the case, that's really laudable. Like that's a great move.
Either that, or it was either that, or that if they didn't push it back, the day one patch they would have had to release
was going to be gigantic.
Was not only going to be gigantic, but that the game wouldn't play. Without it.
Okay.
So it was like, well, let's actually put that on the disc so that if people can't connect to the internet, we're not fucking them over.
Good job, Square. All right, well, with that, let's go ahead and move on to the news. We had a pretty big Nintendo Direct today. I hope you like 3DS games.
Yeah, this is a 3DS Nintendo Direct.
Yep.
So I guess should we talk about the fact that earlier this week, before the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo announced a new 3DS, or a new version of the new 3DS that has a Galaxy skin on it.
Is that the only difference?
That is the only difference. And they also had announced earlier in the week that it was already shipping to stores, so you should be able to find it in stores by now.
Okay.
Or around now.
Okay.
And it's $200. It's still $299 or $199. Not $299.
I mean, the new 3DS is hot and everything, but I don't know. It looks kind of ugly to me.
It's purple, so I know Amanda wants it.
It's got like just a star field on the back of it.
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like my gaming devices to be very plain. Like I don't ever want the metal. I don't even want like the Metal Gear Solid like themed PS4 because I know I'm just gonna get tired of looking at it. Anyway, so there's also a little sub story in this Nintendo Direct about who's that robot guy that they usually have that comes out? You know what I'm talking about, right? That white guy who talks like a total robot.
I don't know.
There's this sub story where it's like Reggie's looking for his Nintendo and for that guy
for the 3DS.
Yeah, and it turns out that he got shipped to Easter Island with Reggie's 3DS that has all the 2017 games loaded on it or something like that. It's just like, all right, whatever, man. Anyway, you could tell me, John, more. I mean, I watched this whole thing. I'm going to say that there's only a couple of things in here that I thought were super interesting, but we can kind of go over it. They kicked it off with Pokemon Sun and Moon. They talked a little bit about, it was kind of an interesting thing. The two things that they really kind of focused on were region-specific Pokemon, so like variants of Pokemon that you're only going to pick up in certain regions that have evolved in those regions for different things.
Yeah.
Like they talked about a Rattata where they unleashed this other Pokemon to hunt the Rattatas, and then they all moved to one side of the island and went nocturnal, so now there's like a nighttime dark Rattata that you can get.
Also, fucking Snorlax stands up.
Yeah.
And it's coming back with a fucking vengeance.
Was Snorlax not in the other game?
But there's a joke that if you actually look at all the sprites of Snorlax through every game, he's lying down and he's slowly getting up with each game. And this is the first game where, Pokemon Go is the first game where he was standing.
Oh, good lord!
And then this is the first game where it's like him, like doing, like apparently they gave him some new attack that makes him like super powerful. That's only in Sun and Moon. So
okay. He also they talked about these like Z attacks where the trainer and the Pokemon can get together and I don't know anything about Pokemon. I honestly don't know anything about Pokemon. I'm sure that was probably going to sell better though, right? Because because of Pokemon Go, they're
probably sell pretty well.
Yeah. Next up, Super Mario Maker is coming to the 3DS.
Yeah.
This the kind of the theme of this whole Nintendo Direct was like, there are a bunch of Wii U games coming to the 3DS, and
it's probably because the Wii U's ending. And,
the Wii U's.
We know these games will sell more.
Yeah.
So we're putting them on a different platform.
There was a weird thing that they mentioned, and I wasn't able to. I didn't have the time to look this up, but they made it sound like that they were talking about that you won't be able to share your courses on the internet, that you'll only be able to share them with Spot Pass and like local multiplayer to other people. What a if that's true, which it may not be, I may completely be off my rocker.
You're right, because there were a few that basically said they've neutered the experience.
But yeah, why would you do that? Like, I don't want to have to. I mean, then like that's the whole point of this, is to be able to go online and play. Like, I thought that was like one of the best parts of Super Mario Maker was the fact that you could go online and like I could find somebody online who is a famous streamer, right, who made a level, and I could go play their level, right, and see if I can beat their time or whatever. So if that's the case, I just don't. It's one of those head scratching Nintendo things that I don't understand. Where I'm like, why would you do that? That seems like the worst possible move.
No, I agree.
To do for that.
I agree completely.
Because I mean, I guess it would make it more social, but for something like that, you want widespread availability.
Yeah.
It would make sense if they were doing that in addition to being online. So maybe they'll put the online back in. Is Mario Maker 3DS? Didn't this already come out? Wasn't it already?
Are you talking about Mario Party? Star Rush.
Mario Party Star Rush. Yeah. Sorry. They all start to ooze together after a little while.
No, I think this is a new game.
There hasn't been a Mario Party on the 3DS yet?
No, there's been a Mario Party, but this is a new Mario Party. It's called Mario Party Star Rush.
Okay.
You're thinking of Mario Party 12? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but there's been a few Mario Parties on.
I'd make a joke about getting fucked out of your stars, but that's like, or your coins or whatever it is, but it's Mario Party. I don't know. Have we ever played a Mario Party on? I think I played.
Yeah, we played it on a Sunday streaming.
Sunday streaming one time.
Yeah.
I really just don't enjoy Mario Party all that much. I don't know.
It's because you lose.
It's because I lose. Obviously, yes, I am a bad loser. That's definitely for sure. But yeah, I don't know. After that, we had they just really kind of front loaded this with a bunch of stinkeroonies.
Announced some new amiibos.
Oh no, this is just telling you that your amiibos that you currently have are going to be functional with Mario Party Star Rush. No, they're okay. They're putting out like an expansion for Animal Crossing on the 3DS called Animal Crossing New Leaf Experience. That's got more amiibos and more cards and more Animal Crossing stuff to do.
Okay.
I
also available in December.
Do you have anything? I mean, like I don't care about Mario Party or Animal Crossing. In fact, I actively kind of hate both of those franchises. Like,
I don't hate them. I don't play them.
Okay,
so I really can't. I can't comment.
Huzzah! Maybe, hey, you listening, go in the comments. Let me know why Animal Crossing is fun, because it always just seems like a bunch of pick a bunch of stuff up.
It's the same reason that Sims is fun.
Okay. Yeah, I get tired of the Sims too. Yeah, and then next up they do a little interlude. But next up, they're doing an expansion for the Street Pass Me Plaza.
Yes.
Goddamn Nintendo! Come on, man, show me something.
Previously, I think you could only Street Pass with very few people at a time, and now they've expanded how many people you can Street Pass with at a time or something.
Yay! And there's some new games, and man, I'm just gonna put in that editorial, the big old finger quotes when I say games, because one of them is slot car racing, and the other one is some kind of like bet on a virtual stock market game, and you can get one of those for free right now. You can't get both of them, but you can buy it. There's some new games that they're putting in. Huzzah!
That's cool.
Next up, a game called Tank Troopers, where it looks like you're driving around a tank. You got different different drivers with different powers, blast on other tanks. Looks okay. It looks like kind of one of those 3DS games that I would see and then just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna play it. You know what? Where's some new Advance Wars? I want some new Advance Wars on my 3DS. I miss the Advance Wars. What happened to that one that was like the post-apocalyptic one that happened on the DS?
Oh no, I don't know.
I fucking love Advance Wars. Throw some new Advance Wars out there. Quit making Tank Troopers, Nintendo. And this is a salty Nintendo segment. Sorry.
You're very salty.
Sorry. Also, Picross 3D Round 2. I never played Picross, so I couldn't really say what this is. It's like some kind of match number up on one side to a number on the other side. And,
I never played Picross, so I don't know.
Okay. This is a super informative segment.
Yeah, no,
by the way. I hate everything, and I
hate everything. I played it. I got no opinion on it, so sorry. I don't know. I'm not really.
All right, so let's throw. Here's a couple things that might actually tickle the fancy. Next, Reggie comes out to talk about its 30th anniversary for Zelda.
Yes.
He talks about they just briefly. Oh wait, they have this whole thing with the. Before we get to that, they have this whole thing where they talk about the Summer Jam, where it was basically like the Nintendo version of Summer of Arcade. And I was actually reading an article about this that this kind of sucks because only one of these games is not available already somewhere else. It's Axiom Verge, Jotun, what is that? Noitu, Love, De-Evolution, Severed, and Gunvolt, Azure Striker, Gunvolt 2. Severed, I guess, is only available on the Vita, and I am kind of looking forward to playing that, but they're kind of doing their whole Summer of Arcade thing. Anyway, next up, so Reggie comes out. He talks about 30th anniversary of Nintendo, or of Zelda, kind of hawking that little NES Classic thing that you can get. I bet those things are going to sell out, aren't they?
Oh, I bet you anything they will.
Motherfucker. I don't believe in pre-orders. Maybe I'll buy one later. There's going to be some new Zelda amiibos.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time, Link, 8-Bit Link, Toon Link, and Toon Zelda. Dark Horse is putting out a Art of Zelda book, which looks pretty cool.
Okay, so they're putting out another one?
I don't know.
Or is it Art of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
No, it's Art and Artifacts. Which
I know that Dark Horse put out the Hyrule Historia and has put out some other Hyrule stuff.
It's just called Art and Artifacts.
Oh, okay.
It's got like 2,000 illustrations of a bunch of stuff about Zelda.
Oh, that's cool.
Et cetera, et cetera. That's pretty cool. I mean, I dig the art for Zelda. And then last up on the Skyward Sword is coming to Wii U
as a eShop virtual console title.
Hooray! Probably I'm trying to think, maybe my least favorite Zelda game.
You said it's your least favorite.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's about right. And then Hyrule Warriors is getting a third DLC that has Toon Link and Toon Zelda.
Yeah,
and a new adventure mode map, which I didn't realize they were still update. But
they're updating it for the DS.
For the DS, so are they not updating on the Wii U anymore?
I don't think they're updating it on the Wii U.
Jesus, Nintendo, Lord Almighty! Like, I mean, I know that you don't want to fuck with the Wii U anymore.
Well, I think it's actually selling better on the 3DS than it is on the Wii U.
Sure, no, I'm sure it is.
So they're just like, well,
it's just, I don't know, man. That just comes off the wrong way to me. At least, kind of bad taste in my mouth of, for the people who did buy a Wii U. it just, I don't know. It feels like that Nintendo has just kind of been like, oh, well, that's not making any money. Let's just stop. I mean, there's not outside of stuff like Skyward Sword coming to the Wii U, there's not a single Wii U thing in this whole conference. They talk about the new Galaxy style 3DS and the Super Mario Land 3DS that apparently is already selling, both of which you can get. And then from there, they move on to the new Phoenix Wright game, which is Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice. We already knew this was coming out, right?
Yes.
This is because it's coming out next month, in the middle of next month.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about, it's a Phoenix Wright game, so they've got a bunch of new bullshit where it's like, oh,
hey,
this
I'm
time
cool with that.
you have to look into a magic mirror, or this time you have to smell the justice on that person, or
I love me some Phoenix Wright. I've been really enjoying watching the anime that's been out, that's been coming out, that's airing right now.
Is there what is an anime for Phoenix Wright?
Yeah, it's on a Crunchyroll.
Well, what? I don't have a Crunchyroll subscription. I don't watch that much.
Well, you
anime.
can watch them on a delay. Like you won't be able to watch like the latest episode, but you can watch them for free on Crunchyroll. I also can give you a trial pass if you want.
Is it as insane as Phoenix Wright?
I mean, it's the story of the first game.
Nice.
Like it's the entire story of the first, like I think first two games. Like I think they're in the second. I don't remember. I don't remember which game.
Okay.
So like they're going chronologically through the. Like it's fun. Like I mean, there's some small changes, and it's a little weird because I'm used to playing the American game, and it uses the Japanese names and Japanese locations,
sure,
as opposed to the renamed to be American places. And his name is not Phoenix Wright. It's the anime is just called Ace Attorney.
Okay.
His name's different name. I forget what his like Nobukun or something like that. I don't remember what his character's name is in Japanese.
Okay.
So it's a little weird seeing that, like not seeing the correct names, but after like a couple episodes, you get used to it.
Man.
It's fun though. I love it.
I gotta check that out. I love me some Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright is great.
All right. From there, we jump into Final Fantasy Dragon Quest 8. You can pre-order it now. Dragon Quest 7 Remastered's coming out next month. This is kind of the problem that I have with this Nintendo Direct is like a lot of this shit we already know about. We already know about it. We've already seen it. So it's kind of just like, well, here's 25 new seconds worth of footage from take a pick. Because next up, they talk about Yokai Watch 2 for a good 2 or 3 minutes. And it's kind of the exact same things that we already knew about Yokai Watch 2, where it's like, oh, you're going back in time. There's 2 versions of it. There's different leaders. Blah, 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 blah. The same Yokai Watch that you've all come to know and love. So, yeah. Then they spend... Oh, this is the weirdest one to me, John, is that they spend about 2 or 3 minutes talking about there's going to be another Sonic game on the 3DS. Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice. I might have put this in the wrong order. Talking about, Disney Magical World 2 is coming out, where... Do you ever play Disney Magical World? Apparently,
no.
you wander around, do mini games, and dress your amiibo up like, or dress your me up like.
I never played any of those
Disney characters.
But they got a new one coming out. That's cool.
They're like, oh, you could be Elsa and Anna from Frozen, and it's
that's
like,
cool.
All right, great.
Hey, there are people who probably love that stuff, and I'm cool with that.
Probably. Yeah, Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice is coming out, and I love it too because. The guy, the person who was announcing it, he was like, oh, yeah, based on the hit TV show Sonic Boom, we're putting out Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice.
Actually, apparently that TV show was actually really good.
Is it?
Yeah, a lot of people said the TV show is really good. That's why he said it's a hit TV show, because apparently everyone who played the game hated it, but when they watched the show, they was like, oh, no, it's actually pretty good.
You mean the hand wraps didn't put them off forever, that it wasn't just like... a million years of complaining about
something like that.
They've got wraps on their hands. Okay, great. I mean, just to reiterate for everybody who doesn't know, I don't really care about Sonic. I don't understand the fervor for Sonic. I swear to God, listener at home, there are some things we're going to talk about before this podcast is over that I really do care about. Because this opening, Josh is giving me
Do you care about chili dogs?
not the way that Sonic cares about chili dog.
Okay,
I'll eat a chili dog. I'm not going to say no to a chili dog, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get chili dogs.
All right.
I live right around the corner from a Wiener Schnitzel. I don't ever go there because it's right next to a Taco Bell, and I'd rather go to Taco Bell.
All right. Actually, that Wiener Schnitzel's pretty good.
I mean, they got that. But see, they pulled that Arby's maneuver, right? Where like last year it was like $5 for 5. You pick whether you want corn dogs or chili dogs, right? You get 5 dogs, and you can mix and match if you want 4 chili dogs and 1 corn dog. If you want 3 chili dogs and 2 corn dogs, you pick whatever combination of chili dogs and corn dogs. And then like the other day, I was rolling by there, and it was like $6 for 5 hot dogs of varying varieties, and I'm like, bitch, I can go to the store for $6 and make like 20 hot dogs with chili, with Wolf brand chili right on them, even some shredded cheese. I get for $6.50. I can make how many hot dogs come in a pack? 18. I can make 18 hot dogs for $6.50. You look like you're about to say something.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, if you go to a sandwich shop, you could make a sandwich for cheaper than at the sandwich shop.
Sure.
But it's you're going there for the food. I mean, it's you're going there so they can make it and you don't. That's why it costs as much as it does.
Okay. I guess it's just hot dogs, man. They're super easy. They're not.
No,
exactly,
I agree.
They're not exactly hard
easy.
to. I mean,
I get corn dogs there usually, so just like I get at Sonic. So man, they had 50-cent corn dogs all day yesterday at Sonic. So good. I had like 5 corn dogs.
I used to live very close to where you live. I used to live at an apartment complex that was on the same side of the road as where that Sonic is. And back when I used to live there, I used to eat at Sonic. And as soon as I moved away, I was like, oh, thank God. There's like a Wendy's closer to me than that Sonic was to me when I lived over there, because a Sonic is like, that's like worse than Taco Bell. Every time I put the last bite of Sonic in my mouth, it descends like a cloud that, oh my God, what have I done? And what am I doing with my life? I need to rethink what's going on here.
Yeah, I will admit, and this is a bit of a tangent, and I apologize.
Oh yeah, not like my Sonic, Taco Bell, and Wiener Schnitzel tangent that I've been on.
So I actually don't go to Sonic very much because I find that the people there are kind of assholes.
Sure.
Like they're just like the lady would shove the food like in my hand and be like just like and then walk off like without like. I feel like there's no customer service.
Sure.
I go to Taco Bell and we're talking about fucking Pokemon Go while in the drive-thru. They're like, "Hey, sir," they'll be like, "What do you like? What do you want?" I was like, "Oh, I need money." And then like they'll be like, "So, I recognize your voice. You play Pokemon Go still?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Did you catch any? You playing right now?" No. Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you if you caught anything if you were playing right now. You know, it's like.
The stories of the fast food place that's by your house where they know you. I went to the Starbucks that's right down the street from you the other day.
Yeah.
And because, boy, we are so far off on a tangent here. The windows in my car are broken and I have them duct taped up. But recently, the inside handle of my driver's door has also broken off. So I'm literally unable to open the door unless I
So you can't go through the drive-thru.
reach around. Well, here's the thing is I was like, parking, getting out of my car is also a pain in the ass because I have to reach my arm around. But I could just take the tape off my window and then drive through the drive-thru and then yank it back up when I'm done. So that's what I did. I was at Starbucks and the lady in the Starbucks drive was like, "Hey, you got your window fixed." And I was like, I come here too much. I need to stop. Anyway, let's run through the rest of this because there's not a whole shitload going on here. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse is a thing. Yoshi's Woolly World 3DS is coming out at the beginning of next year. That's going to be a thing.
On 3DS,
On the 3DS, yep. And they talk at length about Poochie, who...
there's apparently more Poochie in the game.
How can you name your dog Poochie? There's already a dog named Poochie. She's got pink hair and white, and that's Poochie. She had a TV show, like action figures and all kinds of stuff. Poochie.
Wasn't Poochie also the name of the character Homer Simpson did the voice for? And
oh yeah, and Itchy and Scratchy. Yeah, I think so. Okay, maybe so. Maybe Poochie's public domain. Anyway, just like the previous Yoshi, whatever. It's Yoshi's yarn covered
Woolly World. Yeah,
fucking factory of cute garbage. Ever Oasis, you remember that from E3?
Yes.
They announced at E3. They basically just go over Ever Oasis again. You build an Oasis. It's by the guy who created one of the Final Fantasy games. You create an Oasis. You set it up, and then you like go on quests to get materials to sell in your shops and upgrade your oasis. And there are people who will visit there who have different powers that you can recruit to come along with you. And if they're good, then they'll move in and blah 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 blah. It's fine. It just kind of looks like a 3DS game. I'm just going to forget about. Like it doesn't look bad or anything. It's not exactly doing anything that looks.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Super interesting.
I get it.
It looks like Nintendo's finally wised up and put all their sports game into one sports game. So instead of trying to sell you a copy of Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Baseball, and Mario Horse Racing, and Mario Soccer, they're just putting them all into a game called Super Mario Sports Superstars, which I think is really good because, I mean, I think we're well past the point of shelling out a whole $50 for.
Yeah. And they actually said that, you may think that this is just going to be like mini game versions of these sports, and they're like, no, these are like full fledged. Like the soccer that's on here is like 8-on-8 soccer games.
No, it's at 11.
11-on-11. Yeah. Sorry, 11-on-11 soccer games. They're like it's way more. It's like what you're thinking right now. They're way more in depth than that.
Well, having played I think I played. Mario Tennis was maybe the last one that I played.
Well, yeah, that game was terrible from what I remember.
Well, but the thing is that it wasn't terrible. It was just
there was nothing.
It was just a tennis game, and there's really like the best tennis game in the world is still just a fucking tennis game. Like it's just one court, singles, doubles, 3 different styles of courts, different people, different types, and different things, and then you just play tennis, right? Like it's not. So I guess it's good. The horse racing is a little weird. It kind of looks like a weird version of Mario Kart in a way.
That's cool.
But yeah, if you're into those sports games, like I think this is a cool move on Nintendo's part. And last but not least, the only really big announcement, as far as I'm concerned, Pikmin is coming to the 3DS.
Yes, an original, not a port, but an original game.
Yep, a 2D side-scrolling Pikmin, which looks pretty good. I've never like fully embraced the whole Pikmin thing, but this actually seems like it might be more up my alley than the stuff that we've seen on the Wii or the Wii U, or what started on the GameCube, right? Was the GameCube game first? So yeah, it looks a lot like Pikmin, except it's just side scrolling, and then you're tapping the stylus to throw Pikmin at stuff, and so it's regular old Pikmin. I mean, it looks fine. You might lose a little bit of the translation of not having that kind of top-down view to see how small Olimar is in the world, but I like the stuff where they're using both screens for the entire thing rather than spending real estate on one of the lower screens for menus or whatever. I kind of like having both of the screens as a real vertical real estate.
Yeah.
So I don't know, looks pretty cool. Out of all the things they showed, this one's Ace Attorney is probably the one that's most on my list. I don't know. What did you think about this particular Nintendo Direct?
I'll probably play the Ace Attorney game because I typically tend to play them. Mm-hmm. I would definitely play this if a copy was handed to me. I don't think I'd buy it. But yeah, I mean everything's okay.
Did we ever get a sales number on Federation Force? Did that just like flop?
No, I know it got poorly reviewed.
Well, I'm sure. I was actually considering buying it, but then I looked at it and I was like, you have to play this multiplayer. Like, there's no way to play it single player, which again just baffles my mind when it comes to Metroid. To me, is a very lonely singular experience. Yeah. So, all right, well, let's move on from there. You know what? I think that we're already kind of edging up against time, but we'll
let's keep going.
Really briefly, there's a 30-minute Watch Dogs video that we didn't get a chance to watch all of. We watched a little bit of Watch Dogs 2, I should say. I'm going to say, the same way I did at E3, I'm cautiously optimistic about Watch Dogs 2. Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft has shown that they'll burn you. Yeah. They will, but I like what I'm seeing here. It looks pretty. It looks like they've really done a good job of kind of oomping up the various things that you can do in a mission. Like they show a little mission where it's like, oh, he's using the quadcopter. He's also using a little remote control car. He's also using, driving up buildings and using a stun gun. There was one part though where, in the very beginning, where the main character he was trying to get rid of a security guard, and he set an air conditioning unit to explode, and then got the guy, went over, and it made it explode in his face. I'm like, did you just kill that guy?
Yeah.
Like that guy's just a security guard. He's not like a mustache twirling villain. His boss was just like he's like, oh man, I only make $25K a year. I hope that's enough to maybe my wife can get a job so we can send our kids to college and like.
No, I agree. They did show off some of his non-lethal weaponry, like the stun gun and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're like, you can play this entire game without ever killing a person, play fully non-lethal. Yep. So, I mean, there's a lot of different options.
One of the things that I have to say, and this is a thing that kind of confused me in the first Watch Dogs, was he's like looking at people's phones. It seems like everybody's phone. It seems like everybody in the world of Watch Dogs has some weird ass thing that's on their phone.
Yeah.
Like whatever the hacking software that he's using, it doesn't show like their FICA score and whether they've been arrested or not. It's like furry or like it's super into butt stuff or like it's always something about their sex life. And I'm like, what? I'm trying to figure out what it would be like if this guy looked at my phone. It would just be like
has
boring.
Ringworm.
Yeah, has ringworm. He's like, oh, okay. Your character in Watch Dogs 2 can catch ringworm. And then it's like you have to do the mini game to put topical ointment on. So again, we're not looking at the whole thing here, but this is kind of an interesting mission where it looks like he's using the quadcopter to direct another person, rather than directly controlling the scene, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're doing a lot of stuff. Like I like the way that you can hack the cars. I like the quadcopter stuff. I like the amount of hacking that you can do. They had a part very early on in this where they brought the quadcopter up and like looked out over San Francisco. And you could see everything.
And talked a little bit about everything you could do that didn't involve like story missions and things like that.
Yeah,
like where you could go and.
Yeah, I'm gonna say cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
I mean,
here's hoping.
Like I guess I come off.
Here's the thing. When it comes to the first Watch Dogs, my biggest issue was the story.
Yes.
And the main character.
Yes.
The main character was boring as fuck.
Yes, he was.
And the story was basic as shit.
Yes, it was some basic bitch shit.
And if they can give me a character who is interesting, which it seems like they may have.
Right.
And they can also give us a story that is interesting and to tell us why the character is doing what he's doing, which we don't know because we won't know until we play the game.
Right.
I'm okay with the world and the engine that they've set up in the first game. I just want a more interesting character to play as and a better reason to do what I'm doing.
I think the one thing I totally agree with that. I think the one thing that I want more there actually I have two requests for Watch Dogs 2. One is that they need one thing that Ubisoft is really, 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 really bad at that they need to work on is their late game. Because it feels like in just about every Ubisoft game that you can max out your tree super early, or if you work at it, you can max out your tree just first off. Like in Far Cry Primal, right? You just like wander around and get points and max stuff out and build new things. They really need to work on evolving your power set over the course of the entire game so that by the end of the game you feel a lot more powerful than you do at the beginning of the game. Because, and I'm not even just talking about Watch Dogs. Assassin's Creed has that problem. Far Cry has that problem. Like most of their games have this problem of
halfway through the game you feel like you're already overpowered,
right?
And you're kind of bored.
Yeah, you've got everything, and then it's just a matter of going through the motions. So they really need to step stuff up, and that could be a real serious problem in a game like this, where they say the entire city is open to you from the minute you step out there. It's like, okay, well, I mean, the Division, I guess, was pretty decent about that because there were higher powered people in the Division. But
I almost wonder if they're trying to go for a Grand Theft Auto Online kind of feel, because I mean you can play with other people, so you don't actually have to do like you can run into other people while you're playing the game.
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to do the story.
Yeah.
You can just goof off, and they kind of are trying to like get a game that has the longevity of that to where you can do whatever you want, and they want people to fuck shit up or whatever, in the world. I don't know.
I hope so, but if they do that, then I feel like they almost need to if they're going to do that, then they needed to go back and look at like Saints Row 3 level of fucking things up, right?
Yeah.
Of like, you need to be able to fuck things up in a hardcore way. The other thing is, I really, 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 really want them to talk a little bit about the implications of privacy, security, digital rights, and stuff like that, which in the first game they didn't do. They bounced off of it, like about halfway through the game. They kind of like glanced off of it. But, you know, the implication that your main character is just wandering around looking at other people's personal information because he can, for no better reason than just like, I don't know, what's on your phone? Oh, you're into a horse porno. And it's like, ew, you know, that's gross. Like, do we honestly, I mean, I don't want to get too high up on my old man horse, but do we honestly live in a world where somebody just, like, our main character hero is just browsing through your personal information for no good reason? For no reason. Like, it'd be one thing if there were hidden agents, hidden cyber agents out there, and you're looking for one of them, so you have to, like, scan through these people and look at their things and try to find somebody that has a thing. But that never was the impression that I got for the first Watch Dogs. It was like Aiden's just walking around, just kind of looking at everybody's bank account and personal information and stealing money from them. I remember that too, where you could like digitally pickpocket them, and it's like, come on, bro.
Well, he was a criminal, so you know, there's that. He was a
scumbag. Aiden Pierce was he was a boring scumbag.
Yep.
So this video. Oh, okay. This video is only 20 minutes long, and then there's a bunch of DedSec stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Is this the exact same demo? Wait, is this a demo from E3?
Might be.
Okay. Anyway, it looks exactly like the E3 demo. But you know what? Again, cautiously optimistic. Hopefully, it will not be a colossal shit show. What else has Ubisoft put out this year big? I mean, they grow home, but have they put out? They're not putting out an Assassin's Creed this year, right?
No.
There's no Far Cry this year. For Honor's coming out this year.
For Honor's coming out on Valentine's Day next year.
Okay. So what else are they putting out this year?
I think there's a Just Dance game.
There's Just Sing, I guess, and Just Dance.
Just Sing that comes out next week, right?
Is it that dumb snowboarding, parasailing?
I think that's also next year.
Steep.
Yeah, I think that's also next year.
Jeez, Ubisoft. I mean, this is like what that was the thing about E3 this year, where it was like, this is your 25th anniversary or your 40-year anniversary or some bullshit.
Yeah,
it just didn't have anything.
I'm trying to think of what specific. I feel like there is something else major that's coming out that is an Ubisoft game.
Let's see if we can't find out. Let's see if we can.
That is coming out before the end of the year.
Let's see if we can't remember. I mean, the Division came out this year already, right?
Yeah, and I know they've got an expansion for the Division.
Yeah, well, last week we talked about how they're suspending the next one.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 out before the year's out, and Steep apparently. Fractured But Whole. Okay.
Okay, yeah, Fractured But Whole.
So they also had Far Cry Primal this year, but this year is pretty lightweight for them when you consider the amount of stuff they usually put out. Far Cry Primal, Grow Up, South Park, Steep, Division, Trackmania Turbo, and Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah,
that's it.
In all honesty, I thought Steep was coming out next year, but I guess it's coming out.
Maybe it might be. This is just Wikipedia, so it could always be wrong. That's just December.
Okay, maybe it's coming out in December. I don't know. I wasn't too interested in that game, so I don't really care.
Me neither. Well, here's a game that I am actually kind of interested in. There was a new Titanfall 2 trailer, Meet the Titans, that basically just showed us a bunch more of the Titans. I know that in the beta that people were a little upset at the different Titans that were there.
The fact that there were only two?
Yeah. Ion and Scorch, and now we've got,
Ronin.
What was that first one? They've got real dumb names. They should have names like Pacific Rim.
Well, I understand the names. Like Ronin is because he has a sword. North Star
has missiles.
he can hover.
Okay.
So he's, and then there's Ion.
Yeah, Ion and Scorch. I don't know. I mean, like I had a lot of fun with Titanfall. I'm actually again cautiously optimistic for Titanfall 2. If it's got a good single player, I'll play a good single player, man.
Yeah,
I'll play some single player.
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Oh, and tone. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know. It's a pretty hot trailer. It is just a bunch of Titans blasts on stuff. All right, we got 5 pieces of news, and then we're out of here. First up, Metal Gear Solid 5, the definitive edition, is coming in October. Yeah, it's basically going to be Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, plus all the DLC for Metal Gear Online.
Yeah.
Hooray! Hey.
Yeah, apparently fans are pissed off because people ask, "What about the Metal Gear Solid 5 Mission 51?"
Oh,
and I'm laughing because fanboys are upset because Mission 51, and they're like, "No, there is no Mission 51 is not the true ending." It was extra content that was canceled before the release of the game. As far as we're concerned, there is no Mission 51. Sorry, guys. And people were like, that's bullshit. It is the true ending of the game. They're like, no, it's not. The true ending of the game is in the game.
Okay. Let's talk about this real briefly because we're going to get into this before we started. First off, we know that Konami is a company made of lying scumbags.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So the fact that all we know there's a Mission 51, I have to assume was because Kojima and team put that shit on the collector's edition to just be like, without asking anybody, because if you ask Konami would never have allowed them to put that on there all by themselves. Yeah. Second, of course they're not going to develop that mission. They obviously cut that for budgetary reasons or whatever, or because Kojima took a poop on somebody's desk, or they were over budget, or whatever happened. Whatever that thing was that happened, they obviously cut it. They're not going to develop it. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, okay, Konami is lying when they say that there never was a Mission 51, because there was.
Well, they said it was in development, but it was canceled before it was never completed, so there is no Mission 51. The game ends at Mission 50.
Right. Fans, Konami is they're a bunch of evil scumbags. Look, I'm sorry. I've been watching maybe a little bit too much Jimquisition. He has a whole segment called "Fuck Konami." So I just had his shit. I was playing Deus Ex last week, and I had the playlist running on another screen, and so I was just watching him go down the list of stupid shit that Konami has done. But Konami sucks. They're a horrible company, like down to the way that they treat their employees, down to the way that they, remember last year where they fucking wouldn't let Kojima come get his award at the Spike VGAs or the VGAs or whatever the fuck it was, like the pachinko machines for Resident Evil or for Silent Hill and Metal Gear. They suck. I would not ask them if they're going to make Mission 51. Of course they're not going to make Mission 51. Yeah. They're a bunch of evil assholes. They're going to make that Metal Gear. Dude, the more I thought about it, the more I'm pretty sure that Metal Gear Survive is just going to be like, it's going to be so full of microtransactions. It's so full of microtransactions. Oh, man, it's going to be the worst.
I just, like I said, I think it's hilarious because, Metal Gear Solid fanboys are getting their knickers all on a tizzy, and they're basically just, and it's just like, guys, what did you fucking expect?
At this point, to me, I mean, okay, I don't dislike Metal Gear Solid 5. I actually think it's an interesting game. I think it's got a lot of problems, but I think it's a good game. When I think about Metal Gear, I just don't include 5 in my mind because it's more like an offshoot. It's like a side story.
Yeah. I also feel like 5 was kind of it's interesting. Someone actually posted this theory about the Metal Gear Solid franchise.
Oh, good.
And how all of it is Kojima's reaction to fans.
No.
Have you heard this?
I know parts of what you're talking about.
How essentially like Raiden is the fans from the first Metal Gear who just want to be Solid Snake.
Yeah.
And so he's like
the whole thing where in Metal Gear Solid 4, because there's also the other thing where where Kojima wanted Raiden to be a thing. Raiden ended up being fairly unpopular, and in Metal Gear Solid 4 he made Snake super old and shitty.
Yeah,
because
he couldn't kill Mouth,
the big cyborg ninja,
because he didn't want Snake to. Like, he didn't want to continue Snake's story any further.
Yep.
And then the other aspect of it is that in 5 we find out that the fans are actually the villains of the series or whatever, and that Big Boss he just wants to continue war, and that's it's like it's all hilarious.
I mean, there's a part of me that just wants to open up that BioShock Terror into a dimension where Kojima got to finish Metal Gear Solid 5, because Metal Gear Solid 5 to me really, 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 really smacks of a game that was about 2/3 of the way done, and then they just said, like, that's it. I would put out what you've got.
I would prefer to go to a world where Konami didn't force him to make it, and he got to make whatever the fuck it is he wanted to actually make.
There's that too. I guess it's a pain in the ass for me because even though the track record for Metal Gear is not spotless, there's things like Metal Gear Acid that I don't think really hold up to the standard of Metal Gear universe. It's kind of unpleasant to have an actual canonical full-on numbered entry that ends up being like, I mean, even if the only thing that was changed was that Mission 51 was supposed to be in the game, it feels like there was a lot more going on there. Like it was, I don't know. Anyway.
Oh my God. Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if there really wasn't a Mission 51?
Sure.
Kojima purposefully put it in that collector's edition thing to fuck with fans because he knew he was leaving and he wanted one final fuck you to Konami before he
troll
left.
Konami.
Yeah, to troll Konami
so
about
that he
it.
knows that his legion of fans will never stop asking Konami to put it out. He's like, oh my God, we have to mock this mission up really fast. We have to mock it up super fast.
Yes, there is no Mission 51. There never was, and he's just trolling both the fans and Konami at the same time.
Yeah. Anyway, if you bought Metal Gear Solid 5 but didn't get Ground Zeroes,
which I'm going to be honest, if you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live, you probably already have Ground Zero.
If you downloaded it when it was free.
Yeah, if you download it when it's free, because it's been on both.
Yeah. It actually doesn't even really make much sense because I feel like Ground Zero is a separated thing.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if you play the game, if it's going to be, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be a main menu where you can play Ground Zeroes or play Phantom Pain or play Metal Gear Online. So anyway,
of course.
All right. Fart noises. Okay, Peter Moore apparently doesn't want you to have Mass Effect remastered.
Aww.
And asked in an interview, he said, quote, could we make an easy buck on remastering Mass Effect? Yes. Have 1,000 people ask me that? Yes, they have. Do we have? No. We just feel like we want to go forward. There's a little thing called Mass Effect Andromeda that we're totally focused on at BioWare. Anything that distracts from that? Do we have teams lying around that are doing nothing right now that could go? And no, we don't. We want to focus on the future and delivering new IP and new experiences. I think that kind of sucks. I think it would be nice to have a current gen remastered version, especially if you go back and remaster, if they actually went back and did like a full-on remastering job, not just an up-res. And
I think it's funny that, this is the console generation of remasters, yet the one remaster everyone fucking wants is not actually happening.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. So, also, I mean, give me your odds. What do you think? Mass Effect Andromeda, is it going to be any good? Is it going to be good?
It might be.
Is it? No. Okay, that's not true. It's going to be competent no matter what.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
Is it going to be great though? I guess is the question.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, we already, like, when Mass Effect came out, there wasn't really anything like Mass Effect.
Well, also the guys that were pretty much the spear runners, the guys who basically were developing Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, they're not with the company anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently, one of the people who was, like, the head person on Mass Effect Andromeda is no longer with the company anymore. So it's, it's, with all these people leaving, you got to wonder.
The fuck?
Yeah, you got to wonder, what's going on with that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Whew, EA. Next up, apparently, Steam. Okay, so people have been managing to get refunds for No Man's Sky.
Yes.
Through the PlayStation Network, which I know is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Amazon, a bunch of other different places. But apparently Steam is sticking to their guns about their whole, like, what is it? You have to play less than 2 hours, be less than 14 days old.
I've heard some people got exceptions, like they played 10 hours, and then they were like, look, when they first got their first deny, they responded back with, look, I didn't realize that this stuff wasn't in the game until I got this far into it.
Right.
Now, I understand. Would you please reconsider? And sometimes Steam has been like, okay, you only played it for like 10 hours.
Right.
But then like people who had played it for like 50 and 60 hours, they're like, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You spent the money, you played the game for an exorbitant amount of time. You got what your money's worth.
You still playing it?
Yeah, I'm still playing it.
Yeah. I watched a bunch of videos between the aforementioned Jimquisition and I watched Total Biscuit and Angry Joe's review for it. And a couple of other videos that just kind of cropped up because you know how YouTube is, like you're watching these videos, then suddenly something else just starts playing. That was a lot of video of the early stuff they showed for the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man. Cause I mean, like, big crashed freighters, or that one E3 demo where the whole fleet is having a big space combat. Even stuff on the ground looks different in a lot of places, more developed and evolved.
Even the crystals look different.
Yeah.
Like they're not as pointy.
Yeah, yep. The Guardians look different. So yeah, it was kind of a reminder of. I mean, try to take a game at face value, but I think that it comes back to a larger argument about. There was at least 3 different things that I was listening to. I was just one that was a game trailers roundtable after E3, where they had this one guy, 3. Okay, I don't remember who they even were, but there was these 4 guys that were talking, and one of them was just like this jaded games journalist who was asking the questions that I was asking about, like. So what exactly do you do in this game? Like, what's the gameplay loop? And like, there was this other guy that was next to him that was getting super legitimately pissed off at him of like, look, this isn't just a game. You just do whatever you want to. There's not like you don't just do a thing. And it was fun to watch. Some of that stuff is fun to watch in retrospect. But, yeah, I actually kind of want to know how many folks out there still play it.
I mean, I'm still playing it. Like I said, I haven't played it since like Sunday, but I pop it on every now and then. I'll pop on Spotify and start listening to music. I have my own playlist. We've talked about it before. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
I have my own playlist going for it, and I just explore.
Okay, fair enough.
I found planets that are mostly water. I found
desert. Found a desert. Because I was watching those videos, I saw there's a big desert planet with giant sandworms.
Yeah. No one's found that yet.
Yeah.
No one's found any planet that looks even remotely like that. I found planets that seem like they're desert planets, but it's that same style of, like, it might as well be like the moon planets that have like no atmosphere.
Sure.
It's just like hard, like
desolate, bumpy ground kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really, I found some weird creatures.
Okay.
Weird looking creatures that I thought were interesting, but other than that, not a whole lot different.
Fair enough. All right, and last but certainly not least, EVE Online is getting a free-to-play option. Basically, if you want to try out EVE Online, you can start as an alpha clone, which are restricted to specific skills and skill levels, such as Tech 1 frigates, destroyers, and cruisers, and then you can kind of build up to. Oh, they call them Omega clones, the actual paying customers that get access to everything. So if you've ever been like, hey, I've been looking for a thing to eat my life and destroy my
I heard
universe.
about this crazy EVE Online thing. I want to try it out.
Yeah, go have fun with that. And then let me know if it's still Spreadsheet the game where you just flying around. I mean, like, EVE Online seems like one of those things where if you get up to the higher levels, it's doing some really interesting and fantastically crazy stuff. But there's a long road between start the game for the first time and getting into those stories about like, oh man, what was the last one? Was like a year and a half ago where like a guy had like one of their mega ships and ended up accidentally dropping out of warp like in the wrong place, and one of the something awful goon squad found him and then got online and like called everybody because it was like one of the guild's giant battle cruisers, but it wasn't being escorted. And then they just descended en masse, and it turned into like this 12-hour battle of them trying to blow up this guild's cruiser with just because, as far as I could tell from the articles that I've read, the Something Awful Forums Goon Squad are just like millions of tiny trolls with shit ships, but they'll all show up at the same time to fuck with your shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sounds like an incredible gaming experience to be part of.
Well, it's like I've heard stories of like people who will who are actually part of one guild but join a guild like undercover, and then like will rise up through the ranks only to fuck that guild over.
Oh yeah,
and this is not like I played the game for like a couple days and I rose through their ranks and I totally fucked them all over and it was hilarious. No, this is like I rose through their ranks over the course of 6 years.
Yeah,
got to second in command.
No, I don't know if they still do it, but I heard that like because it's run by all different corporations, guilds are different companies, that like before you can join a specific guild, they will call you on the phone because they want to or Skype with you because they want to make sure that they can see your face and hear your voice, so that you're not somebody else that is identified or known to them. I mean, yeah, I've read these like fascinating articles about these long con
that are just like
leasing
years in the making.
Yeah one guy who was trying to get together a bunch of whales to donate money so they could buy a ship design for their corporation, and at the end of it he just transferred all the money to a different account and then deleted his account and basically ran. And it was just like, oh man, EVE Online, you so crazy, EVE Online. But unfortunately I do not want to put in the work. And with that, we're going to be done with the news. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in just a minute where we are going to go into some emails. We'll be right back. And we are back. We're back, and it's time for questions, John.
I'm ready for some questions.
All right. Well, just hold your horses because it's not time for questions just
God
yet.
damn it.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't really have any mini reviews or anything to spit out this week. I got Attack on Titan, but I didn't play it because I was playing the Neo demo like a crazy person. I did just want to add from last week's, if you're still on the fence about Deus Ex, I tried playing a little bit of that dumb breach mode. It's really terrible.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because it's just a big grind, and it has very little story, and it's got some of the mechanics from the main game, but then they kind of make you start all over again. And the visuals are just kind of like, I had a hard time figuring out where anything was because all the walls are just this weird triangular mess of bullshit. But you should at least go through the tutorial if you get it, because it gives you a free practice point that you can pull into your main game. All right, mail@rageselect.com is the email address, and our first question this week comes in from Cortovos, who says, Dear Masters of Rage, Prophets of Doncles, hallowed be his name and member, presidents of the select few, etc., etc. First of all, as promised, I included a shot of my new tattoo. I am quite happy with how it turned out. Everything went flawlessly, except for the 7 kinds of fits my mother threw. Also, I still think that you, Jeff, should get a Rage Select tattoo, preferably somewhere very visible. Like right in the middle of my forehead, right? Like just right, like Dr. Manhattan, but with just the Rage thing.
I was going to say like the Joker's Damage tattoo. It just says Rage Select instead.
Sure.
Like
no, I could get like a bunch of them as little teardrops to indicate.
Well, that you get the logo as teardrops.
No, I was actually just thinking of getting the logo and then having it inside of a virtual tear to indicate that I'm just constantly weeping.
Yeah. Which is true.
And here we have a picture. Cortovos can put it in the comments if he wants, but it's a pretty cool, good tattoo.
Yeah, it's nice looking.
Secondly, I tried weed for the first time a week ago. Don't worry, I'm currently in the Netherlands where it's perfectly legal, and I was really disappointed. It had absolutely no effect except for inducing some coughing. So as any man without a brain, an hour ago I tried the same thing again, hoping for a different result. So far, I remain disappointed. So, Jeff, I have always enjoyed your stories from when you were on acid. I'm sure you have tried some weed in the past. So, my 3 questions, oh boy, Cortovos, man, you're really pushing the envelope today, are, what is the correct technique for smoking weed? What effect does weed have on you personally? And lastly, what was your first time smoking weed like? With kind regards for your no doubt entertaining answers from that collection of windmills and dikes that people call the Netherlands, Cortovos. Also, by the way, folks, if the questions seem a little random this week, it's because I've been running late all week. I've had to shower all the time because of the horriblesness. So, sorry, John, that I don't think you're gonna. Have you ever smoked weed, John?
I don't know, and I don't know.
Okay, all right. What is the correct?
Wait. I actually got a correct way to smoke weed out of a banana.
Out of a banana. I highly recommend.
There is a YouTube video that actually explains the proper way to smoke weed
out of a banana.
Out of a banana. A banana bong.
I highly recommend the first time that you. Okay, so. There are basically 1 million ways to smoke weed.
Yes.
Like, you go online, and I used to live with a dude who was one of those guys who was like, I can make a bong out of that. I can make a bong out of that. It was like, bro, you have 4 bongs. Like, why do you need to make a bong out of anything? You have 4 bongs and like 2 pipes and like a dugout. Why do you need to be making more things? I actually lived.
He's like the MacGyver of bongs.
No, seriously. There was a time. This was when I was
Bong-gyver.
19 or something like. God, it's like 20 years ago. I lived with a bunch of like just really. We lived in this house, and I lived with these stoners, and these guys, they had this idea where they wanted to take like an old, like it was like a pole from like a lamp, right?
Okay.
But the lamp part on the top was gone.
Yeah.
And then what they're trying to do is they were trying to attach a bunch of brackets to it to create. Do you know what a gravity bong is?
No.
Okay. So gravity bong is basically you have. If I know this correctly, it's like you have to seal like a container, like they were using Mountain Dew bottles, which should tell you all you need to know. Where basically you seal in, you vacuum press water. No, you use, okay, so you fill a bottle up with water, right? And you tip it upside down and you run a hose from that to another container, right? And in that container, you will say like burn your weed into that container. And then when you release the water goes down this gravity bong, and basically it pushes the smoke through the water from that up to the container that used to have the water in it, right?
Yeah.
Gravity bong uses gravity, and by doing that, it actually filters the weed smoke through the water, removing some of the impurities and hopefully giving you a better high, right? They had this dumb duct tape together like 6 Mountain Dew bottle gravity bong system with all this hoses that I think one of them stole from their work because we were all teenagers and whatever. And as near as I could tell, it never got used. It was just sitting in the corner. One day though, they came home from the Army surplus store with a gas mask, and I got to watch as they fucking took the thing off the front of the gas mask and attached one of the little pipes to it. Just it was funny because it was one of the ones with the big eye holes, and as the smoke was coming up over my friend's eyes, his eyes just kept getting wider and wider because he was basically just like had his entire face was engulfed in weed smoke. But if you've never smoked weed before, I'd highly recommend a small, regular old people bong, because the water does filter the smoke a little bit, so it's a little bit easier. It does cool it down a little bit, so you're not, smoking this warm smoke. Joints are hard to roll and hard to smoke, and you got to put a little tobacco in there to make it burn evenly. But really, the best way to smoke weed is however you can get your hands on it. If you got a bong laying around, fine. But I wouldn't recommend going out and buying a bong. What effects does weed have on you personally? Well, it depends on the weed. I'm doing a podcast on welcome to the new Rage Select 420 podcast. All right. You should save this for podcast number 420 that's going to take place in the year 2016 or 2012 or whatever.
No, you can get there in about 4 years of Rage Select.
We're at Pi. Was this like 140 or something?
Yeah.
We do 52 podcasts a year, so it would take at least
4 years.
52 podcasts a year times 4 years. That's 200. We're going to need another 100 on top of that. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you high right now?
No.
There's two different kinds of weed, and having lived with all the stoners in the world, I can tell you, there's two different things that happen when you smoke weed. You've kind bud, which is if you've ever been around a pot smoker, they'll ask you to smell it, and they'll show it to you, and it's got little red strings in it. It's all pretty and stuff. And then you've got just like dirt garbage weed, like just it's all seeds and stems, and it's just terrible. It wasn't grown; it was grown in somebody's closet or whatever. But the difference is, I don't know if you know this, John, but there's a difference between being high and being stoned.
Oh.
Yeah. Being high is more like being on other drugs where it's like your brain is all floaty and weird. Being stoned is more just like you're really relaxed, and that's where you're really hungry and you want to eat stuff. At least that's how it's always been explained to me. So, yeah. What does it do to me personally? I mean, I've smoked weed a few times in the past. I don't really do it because I drink more than I smoke weed, but generally just calms me down, mellows me out, makes me kind of hungry, and I sleep a lot better when I'm stoned. So every so often I'll do that, but generally speaking, I don't smoke it that much. I mean, it's just, I'm pretty lazy as it is. That's why I always had stoner roommates, because it makes me lazy and hungry. My roommates would all be lazy and hungry, and I'm like, I'm always lazy and hungry. I don't need to smoke with you guys. I'm worried I'll get too lazy and too hungry. I'll start gnawing on my own arm because I'm too lazy to get up off the couch, but I'm still super hungry. What was your first time smoking weed like? Oh man, I don't remember. It's been fucking forever. I can tell you my first time about doing a whole bunch of different drugs, but like the first time I smoked weed, it was just like, well, I'm hungry and I'm kind of lazy, and a lot of stuff is more funny now than it was before. So
I probably got like a contact high from being in the same room of pot smokers or whatever, but I've never smoked weed, so
it's fine. I mean, it's a real lightweight drug. Yeah. Like, in fact, Cortovas, if you're in the Netherlands and you're smoking weed and it's not doing anything to you or for you, I'd say you might not be smoking enough of it, or you might be
What you need to do is you need to upgrade to black tar heroin.
No, don't
do that. Don't do that.
You know what I would recommend? You know what I would probably recommend? You have to be really careful with it. But if smoking it's not doing it for you, I mean, you do have to like hold it in your lungs. You have to hold the smoke in your lungs to get the THC into your system.
Try having someone blow the smoke up your ass.
Oh, good Lord.
No.
Butt chugging weed, butt smoking. Oh, that's my. Oh no, John, that was my ass bong.
I'm trying to think of all the different like ways that it's like, oh, well, you need to change the way you're smoking it. What?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, if you're in the Netherlands and you get this message ahead of time, maybe go try some edibles instead. You have to be
hot brownies.
Yeah, you got to be careful with them because edibles take a lot longer to get into your system. So one of the things that people do is they'll eat some and they'll be like, oh, I'm not feeling it. I need to eat more, when they haven't waited long enough for it to actually cycle into their system. But yeah, give that a shot. Because it's, if you're not a regular cigarette smoker, I mean, like I said, you have to do a big hit of it. You have to hold it in your lungs. You have to like let it out. It's possible that you might not be getting it. You might not be doing it that way. But anyway, I don't know. I'm much more of a acid mushrooms kind of guy. I mean, weed's all right, but all right. This next one comes in from Simon. Simon says, "Hey, Jeff and John, or John and Jeff."
Simon says,
"Sometimes escaping from the mundanity or insanity of reality is a necessity." That was kind of a nice little turn of phrase there. "And some game worlds do that better than others. Now, other than the obvious Souls and Metal Gear." From Jeff answers, which worlds portrayed in games do you wish you could spend more time exploring or just experiencing? Thanks for all the great content over the years, Simon. Now, this is a classic question. We get this question like once every like 3 or 4 months.
Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend.
Yeah,
you just
I love that world.
Hang out in the Brutal Legend world. Let's see. I didn't, like I said, I didn't read these ahead of time. So, going back to what we were talking about in the news, I think Mass Effect is an interesting world. I'd like to see some different areas of some different. I mean, that kind of goes back to my whole like wanting to see some parts of Star Wars that are not just Jedis and Death Stars. Let's see, what other worlds would you like to spend a little bit more time in? It's an interesting question. I'm trying to think of some of the recent games. Deus Ex is actually, I would have liked to have seen. I when playing the latest Deus Ex, I would have liked to have seen more of that world than just Prague, mostly because it was like. The levels that you went to in that game were like Prague, and then this place that's a suburb of Prague or on the outskirts of Prague, and then there were a couple of other places. One was just like a laboratory.
Yeah.
But they've built so much into that world that I liked the first one where you got to go really explore the different flavors of different places. So I think I would have liked to have seen more of that. And because he said Souls and Metal Gear, I'd like to see what other places in the Bloodborne world look like. That's not a Souls answer. That's a Bloodborne answer.
It's technically Souls answer.
It's not a Souls answer. It's not a Souls game. It's a Bloodborne game. No, I think that would be really interesting because Bloodborne definitely has that like kind of European feel to it. I'd like to see like what does the Beast Plague look like in like I don't know, even an Eastern European. Well, it kind of got an Eastern European feel to it already, but like Middle Eastern that might be interesting, or like
colonial America,
Asian is. Oh man. That'd be like some Roanoke, like bunch of log cabins with werewolves out in the forest. Like that movie, the Vitch.
Yeah,
the Vitch. I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more of Dead Space. I think too.
Yeah.
We only ever see we see the one station in the Ishimura, and then I guess there's that planet in the third one.
Yeah.
But some interesting.
The city in the beginning of the third one.
I'd like to see like if they just took Dead Space to a planet, to like a whole other area, and then maybe had like an action game that isn't necessarily about the necromorphs. I don't know. Like they did a lot of universe building in that game, and I'd like to see more of it. Yeah. All right. Next we have a question from Alex, who says, "Greetings, Jeff and John. I have forsaken the Dawn Lord and accepted the old ways of the Beard Man back into my life, and it is bestowed to me that Dongacles is a false phallic idol." And enough of that. On to my question. Rage Select is picked up by HBO, and you are given a crazy Game of Thrones-like budget. What content do you make for HBO? A miniseries? And what about? A movie? A Let's Play series that is televised? The sky is the limit. What would Rage Select create? P.S. I love the Jeff versus Beer for Patreon last week. From the convict-ridden, deadly animal-containing, and bogan-filled Australia. P.P.S. If you're bored, Google bogan. It is essentially an Australian redneck. They're the worst. Rage on Alex. And then it says, sent from my time-modulating exploratory Star Trek device. I'm making a new Star Trek series. I said Star Trek. I can't believe there's... Did you see the concept art for that new Star?
I've seen some of it, yeah.
What the new ship looks like? It looks like a fucking...
It looks like a Enterprise had sex with a bird of prey.
Yeah.
And they had a child.
Yeah. This is, nah, man. It's supposed to take place... When is it supposed to take place?
And apparently that's not even the final design.
After Enterprise? Before TOS?
It takes
after
place...
After TOS? Before TNG?
No. It takes place after Enterprise, but before essentially the movies and the original series.
Okay, so before TOS. Okay. Yeah. Dude, that would be one. I would, dude.
So basically, this allows them to play in a Star Trek universe that is not affected by the time travel or the history rewrite of the new movies.
Oh, okay. Like anybody would care if they didn't. Yeah. I mean,
and they even said that they plan to make this at least as far as the first season is concerned. This will be the only Star Trek series that doesn't have an episode that deals with time travel in some way.
Okay.
So
that's fine with me. You know what I want? I want a Star Trek series that's set during the time period that Q takes them to for the trial and encounter at Farpoint.
Yeah,
where it's like got the cocaine cops and the crazy little guy with the gong and like a bunch of weird villagers, and then there's the judge in the big seat. Man, I want to see what the fuck was happening on Earth during that time period. So all the cops have just cocaine ready at a moment's notice to just like get that thing on like a zip tie to get into the building. So yeah, that's what I would do, is make a Star Trek series.
You would make a Star Trek like series.
No, man, I would just buy. He told me I got unlimited money. I would take Star Trek away from those dumb shits.
Let's say this.
Okay.
You cannot buy an existing property. You have to make something that's completely original with the Rage Select brand, because I think that's what he's saying.
Is that what you're saying? Rage Select has been picked up by HBO, and you're given a crazy Game of Thrones like budget. What content do you make for HBO? A miniseries? And what about? I don't know. I think this is open ended. A movie?
Well,
a Let's Play series?
I feel like he's asking, what would you do with it's you, it's me, it's everybody who's ever been part of Rage Select.
Sure.
We're the people that are either going to be behind the scenes or in front of the scenes. We're making something original.
Okay.
What is it?
A video game
that's on HBO?
Okay. If it's got to be on HBO, it's a series about making a video game. No, I've got it. I'm gonna hire. Oh my god, fucking shitballs, Magoo. I'm gonna hire like an incredible writing crew, and we're gonna make something like the Newsroom or Veep or one of those series about Let's Players. It's gonna be like the Guild, but with a huge budget. It's gonna have like 12 episodes. It's gonna be all like good writing, and yeah, it's gonna be a series about Let's Players because nobody can relate to fucking Jeff Bridges or whatever doing the news every week, but everybody can have a Twitch channel. It's about Twitch. No, it's about somebody who has a Twitch channel and they get murdered. And then Detective John has to solve the murder. He's broken down. He wishes he would have smoked weed, but he doesn't do that. So he's got a trench coat on, and him and Amanda are solving mysteries with my dog as like the Scooby-Doo. They're in a van, and they got to find out who killed that Twitch streamer. That's a terrible idea for a series.
A terrible idea.
It's not a bad idea for a B horror movie, though.
You know what I would do?
What's that?
And this is what I would rip off MST3K, except each episode would just be them riffing on like HBO original content, like episodes of Game of Thrones and episodes of whatever other HBO original series is.
So it's the new HBO original series making fun of the other HBO original series.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. It's just each episode is just a riff.
Oh man, what a horrible troll would that be? Where it's like, okay, so you've given an unlimited budget. What do you want to do? I want to overdub every episode of The Wire with me and my friends making fun of The Wire to piss off everybody who loves The Wire.
Yeah.
And then after that, can we get the rights to Breaking Bad? Because The Wire, I really like The Wire, but yeah.
Just anything that's HBO original content that HBO owns the rights to, just riff it.
I'd like to make. I mean, there's a bunch of,
but actually even do like a story, like an actual story, like have the bumpers just like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Sure.
Possibly even put the silhouettes on there. I don't fucking know.
Sure.
Totally just be unabashedly ripping it off.
Okay, I could see that.
But only for HBO content.
Only for HBO original series. I mean, there's like a half dozen books that I'd love to make into a show that I feel like would make a great series.
Yeah.
I'd love if I had I mean, like, this is a thing where I think it would make a great series, but it would have to have an unlimited budget. It would have to literally be that nobody gives a shit about it. I think that right now in human history would be the perfect time to translate Transmetropolitan into a weekly TV series. I think that it would work well as a weekly TV series. I think that the tech in that series is now very much similar to, I mean, like, we don't live in a world where you go buy people meat at a store, but I think that it's the connectivity and the tech and the stuff that they've got and the political stuff that goes on, because the whole series is about politics anyway.
Yeah.
Would be great. And I think the Spider Jerusalem would be a great character that would probably work very well as long as, you were allowed to have him doing drugs and being a crazy fuck, the entire time. I would love to have a live action Transmetropolitan series, but I would kind of just want to directly translate the book, right?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, well, we're reimagining it. Now Spider Jerusalem's a 16-year-old teenager. And it's like, God, fuck you. Have you watched Preacher series?
I have not.
Okay. I've heard not bad things, but
I've heard good things about it.
I'm worried. I just don't know.
I've heard people who are fans of the comic actually really like the series, and everyone I know who didn't like the comic or never read the comic doesn't.
Okay. There's also a half dozen books that I've read that I would love to create movies about. I think you could make some of those old William Gibson books into a great miniseries.
Okay.
Anyway. Alrighty. Next up, from Thomas. Thomas says, "All hail the malevolent overlord to the dong. Dear Jeff and Sexy, work it, baby. You rock my world, John."
Okay.
Thank you for all the great content and the laughs. My question, if you could insert any custom character into another world/game franchise, who would you pick and why? I'm thinking Kratos into Dark Souls or Geralt into Dark Souls. Second question, this is the season for classics to be remade. What with Ben-Hur and the Magnificent Seven? What old classic would you like to see remade, and with whom would you like it to be made? Yes, we all want original content, but unfortunately, this is the world we live in. And look at it this way. Shane Black is making a new Predator film. Fingers crossed. Take care, fellow patron Thomas. It's kind of like the sequel to the previous question.
Yeah.
Put any character into any other game franchise. This is another classic Rage Select question that we get asked on a fairly regular basis. Mario in Dark Souls, Zelda in Dark Souls guy in Zelda, Bloodborne guy in Dark Souls guys in Bloodborne in Mass Effect. No, I don't know. I'm just sorry. It's always weird because I don't ever know how to answer this question. It's like I don't know that I have ever thought about
Cervantes.
Okay.
From Soul Calibur.
Sure.
And put him in the world of Bloodborne.
Okay. You know who would be better than that, though, from Soul Calibur?
Oh, yeah. No, I do.
Voldo.
Oh, Voldo, yeah. I was going to say Ivy with the sword.
No, man.
Because her sword changes.
Yeah. Oh, that sword is actually in Dark Souls, too.
Yeah.
No, I want Voldo in Bloodborne, and I want to hit the L1 button to have him walk upside down, and then I want the crazy villagers of Bloodborne to just be like, "What the fuck is that? Is that a hunter? What the fuck are you hunters into? You got crazy motherfuckers." Yeah, I don't know. I never really think about this particular question about who would you put into what world and why. I know that there's a lovely little image sequence about guy from Dark Souls 2 killing Elsa from Frozen, which is pretty good. But Patches and everything. That's going to be my answer. Take Patches the hyena, and put him into every single game that's ever been created. Just got to have a Patches every single game that's ever been created. But you had like a Metal Gear cross Splinter Cell game. If that could work, you think those two?
I mean, they're practically the same guy.
No, Sam Fisher's way funnier than Solid Snake.
This is true.
Sam Fisher's he's a laugh riot.
Yeah.
Isn't there a new Splinter Cell game coming out? Splinter Cell Blacklist?
Well, that already came out.
There was one after that, wasn't there?
No.
Did they show one last year?
No.
No, that was the last one. Oh yeah, but then they took out Ironside.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys thinking over there? That's craziness. Oh yeah, because it's Ghost Recon next. We're gonna have to suffer through Rainbow Six and another Ghost Recon, and then they'll probably reboot. What do you think? Odds whether they're gonna reboot Splinter Cell?
They'll probably reboot Splinter Cell again.
I don't know. Anyway, the other question: what old classic would you like to see remade, and with whom would you like it to be made by? You think
like video game or
well, he's talking about movies in his question.
Movies?
He talked about Ben-Hur and Magnificent Seven.
It's a good question.
RoboCop. Oh, no, wait. Total Recall. No. Trying to think. Boy. I'm trying to think further back than the 90s. Like an 80s movie that was a good movie, but it doesn't hold up anymore, and you like to see it remade with some modern special effects.
I feel like I had this conversation with Amanda a few weeks ago, and we actually had a really good answer, and I can't for the life of me think of what it was.
Was it Robot Jocks?
No.
Was it Runaway with Tom Selleck?
No.
Was it Phantasm?
No.
Phantasm 2?
No.
Okay.
Nor is it Phantasm 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Okay.
I don't know if there was a 7.
I'm trying to think of movies from the 80s that don't actually hold up.
My Science Experiment.
It's funny. I was just listening to the episode on that on We Hate Movies.
Yeah,
I've kind of forgotten about that.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah. What was the one that had Val Kilmer in it, where they pop all the popcorn at the end?
Real Genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's actually legitimately one of my favorite movies. There's a line from it that I quote quite often that confuses people, which is like, you ever had that dream where you're standing on top of a Mayan temple and there's a bunch of naked women throwing pickles at you, and then when the person says no and looks at you weird, like, why am I the only one that has that dream?
Boy, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of remakes. I'm trying to think of anything that fit into that category. But
remakes.
I'm not coming up with anything.
There can be some good remakes, but I mean, remakes are not inherently evil. I mean, if here's the thing: without remakes, we never would have gotten John Carpenter's The Thing.
Sure.
Without remakes, we never would have gotten a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh, hey man, you and I talked about when that Magnificent Seven trailer came out.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm actually looking forward to that movie. As far as like. But as far as like I'm trying to think about it, because I'm trying to think of I would love like a lot of my movies, like you can't remake them because part of what made them special was they were very of their time,
right?
Like the movie Rad or or
Days of Thunder,
Days of Thunder, or the No Retreat, No Surrender, or any number of fucking sidekicks.
No, I know, I got it. You got it. You ready, John?
I'm ready.
Megaforce. I want a new Megaforce, but I want it to remain true to the stupid spirit of Megaforce. But I want there to be flying motorcycles and those vans with the lasers on top. And I want the main guy to be wearing a little headband and have a big beard.
I'm also going to say something. I was talking to Amanda about this earlier today. There is a movie that I would like to see made as a TV show or a cartoon series.
Okay.
That I feel like Disney severely missed the boat on.
What's that? Goof Troop.
Sky High.
Okay.
Because
I remember Sky High.
Felt like live action kids TV series or cartoon series. It had written all over it.
Yeah.
Never did anything with that franchise.
No, I can see it. Ooh, Galaxy High. That's what we should do for
Galaxy
our
High.
HBO series
Yeah.
when we get all the money for HBO. Live action Galaxy High. Did I tell you I came home from the bar drunk like a while back and I watched like 4 episodes of Galaxy High? I was like, I watched that one where he gets the drugs from that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird show.
It was a really weird show. And it was weird when I feel like a lot of times, and I want to veer off on too far of a tangent, God forbid, that, we talk about how like there's a lot of discussions about representation and male, female and stuff. I love Galaxy High because like the nerdy girl goes to Galaxy High and she's like, the best. Everybody loves her. And then fucking Doyle is an idiot, and everybody is like, you're an idiot, Doyle. Why are you even here? But why did they even let Doyle stay at Galaxy High? Why don't they send Doyle back and get another nerd? They could bring like 2 nerds instead of bringing a jock. Because obviously Galaxy High doesn't give a shit about
He was
guys.
the one who was selected.
I guess.
Yeah.
Who's doing that selecting?
I don't know. But yeah, no, I actually had a friend at work who was like, "Is you remember like this kid show and there was live action and there was these people like it was in the future and like they were wearing like, really like shiny like armor and there were these toys that you could play." I was like, Captain fucking I've already forgot the name of the title. But I was like, I said the name of the
Sky High?
No, not Sky High.
Captain N, the Game Master?
No, not Captain
Sky
N.
Commanders?
This was
Captain Power?
Captain Power.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Soldiers of Fortune. I was like, Captain Power and the Soldier of Fortune. I actually said it at the time that he asked me. He's like, oh shit, why are it's like so it does exist, it's a real thing. And I'm like, yes, it's Captain Power and the Soldiers of Fortune. And then he's like, do you remember this cartoon where these guys, they had like holograms in their Visionaries? Why do you know all these things, man? It's like, because I grew up in the 80s and I remember I have fucking Visionaries, fucking
because you had to have one toy for every one of those things.
Yeah. It's like, I remember every goddamn one of those shows.
Mask. You can make a live action Mask. Dude, you can make a Mask movie and it would be awesome. Just don't let anybody.
Well, Hasbro got the rights to Mask.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's now part of the G.I. Joe franchise.
Yeah,
apparently, the next G.I. Joe movie is going to also include characters from Mask.
No. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. They got to have a gas station.
But it does, because the villains in Mask also were called Cobra.
No, but it doesn't. But the main bad guy in Mask is just an old man with a mustache. Like, they're never going to make that work. He's just wearing a suit. And he's got the dumbest mask thing of all time. He's got a helicopter that turns into an airplane. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Wait, what are we looking for? Is it an airplane? Oh, there's a helicopter. It couldn't possibly be the bad guy, even though that helicopter looks exactly like that guy's airplane, except with it looks more like a helicopter, but the front of it's the same. This is bullshit, man. It's bullshit. All right, our next one comes in from Renee, and Renee says, hi, Jeff and John. Hope everything is going great for you guys. My question is, do you think game trailers are conducted much better than movie trailers? Yes or no? Please explain why. I've noticed that when I watch movie trailers, it tends to give me the entire plot of the movie, but when I watch game trailers... Didn't we already answer this question? But when I watch game trailers, I don't get the same feeling. Keep up the great work. Love your shit.
I think we talked about it. That's a subject we've talked about before.
I feel like we've answered this question before.
Probably. I mean, not this particular email, but
maybe. Okay. Okay. Well, we can run through it real quick. I mean, I think that I'm pretty sure that last time I was talking about this, we came to a pretty solid agreement, which was it's a lot easier to spoil a 2-hour movie than it is to spoil a 12-hour game or an 8-hour game or any hour game.
Yes.
Especially because it's also harder to spoil things because the interactivity of video games means that it's the plot, since most video games have more action than movies, it's like parts of those trailers generally seem to be made up by action sequences, which is like, as a person playing the game. So I feel like when you're looking at the same 2 or 3 minute trailer. I mean, that Watch Dogs thing that we were talking about, in the opening segment was 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, and that was nothing. That was nothing or I would assume that it's nothing compared to what we're going to be getting out of the game when it fully comes out. So, Renee, I do feel like it's much, much harder to do that. Whereas movie trailers, I also feel like movie trailers maybe tend to work on a very strict structure, where you're seeing kind of the same. I mean, I know there's been analyses online about how, movie trailers are very similar.
Yeah.
A lot of them are very, very similar to each other. So,
actually, speaking of movie trailers, so you've heard that of that new movie called Morgan, the horror movie?
Nope.
It's basically talking about, it's basically a movie where a computer AI was created and put inside of a robot body that's made to look human and things like that.
Okay.
And basically the main character is tasked with reviewing what this guy has done and deciding whether or not this AI is going to be continued to allow to grow up and be to cultivate it or whatever for this experiment, or if they need to fucking cut all funding and shut this fucking thing down because it's an atrocity to man. And the AI basically goes rogue, gets out, and it's kind of like this horror story. Okay. What I thought was interesting is that Fox approached, I guess, Microsoft, and they have that, what is it, Wilson, that AI that they have cultivating.
I don't know.
And they actually fed it a bunch of information about what makes a horror movie good and about trailers and things like that, and then had it analyze the movie and make a trailer based for the movie. And it's actually, I mean, it's a very short trailer, mind you, but it's actually pretty effective. I just thought it was interesting that they did this as a marketing thing.
This is the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life.
To make a trailer for a movie, a
Yes.
horror movie about an AI going rogue.
Show an emergent AI a movie about an AI that goes rogue and starts murdering people. Good job, Microsoft. Only Microsoft could be this short-sighted and stupid.
Hey, Microsoft was approached. So Fox is the real ones to blame.
Yeah, but we all know that Fox is like gloriously stupid. Like, let's have somebody at Microsoft be like, hey, just I don't think we should show the AI a movie about an AI that murders people. It's still very much an infinite absorbing.
Well, I mean, they still say it's not like it's actually watching the movie and learning what's actually going on in the movie. What it's doing is it's analyzing it from a pure data point of view. Like, they basically said, this scene in this movie is scary. Here's why. And then, like, this in this different movie is scary. Here's why. And it basically fed it all these, like, information points, and then it analyzed this movie and goes, okay, well, here are the scenes that need to be in the trailer. Here's the order that they need to be in the trailer.
Yeah.
And this needs to be like, it's giving them some information. Then they have an actual guy come in and actually, like, score it and, like, kind of go based on what the AI is telling it.
Yeah.
So it's not like a fully 100%.
No, that's just what the AI wants you to believe. The AI
is what
hiding.
they're saying, but it's interesting because they're like, yeah, like, it shows scenes for the trailer that the actual creators of the movie didn't think about being creepy. Like, it was like, this scene is creepy, it should be in the trailer, and they're like, well, that scene's not really creepy. Actually, yeah, it is kind of creepy now. You know, we fucking made this movie and we didn't even realize that scene was as creepy as this AI is saying. And it's just, and it allowed them to kind of look at it at, like, how this thing is determining how it's reading this information.
Right.
I think that shit is interesting.
Oh, I do too. I'm just, you want Skynet. This is how you get Skynet. Is you keep showing
it's gonna be called Wilson.
You keep showing your AI movies about where robots take over everything. Maybe start with My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, or Kermit the Frog, the Muppet movie. That's what I want. I want Muppet AIs. Ooh, I want an AI that then, like, when it's trying to break out, it just builds a Kermit the Frog, but it's a robot that can actually just walk around and do stuff. And then one day you're just walking down the street and you just see goddamn Kermit the Frog walking down the street. You're like, holy shit, are you Kermit the Frog? He's like, yep. And then just keeps going past.
And then goes, die, human! And
right. I would be all right getting murdered by Kermit the Frog. I could be all right getting murdered by a robot that looks like Kermit the Frog. Maybe that's just me,
noted,
but whatever. All right, this next one comes in from Everwen, kind of keeping on the movies tangent, who says, hi, I don't know if you're still taking questions, but here I go. It's universally known that movies based on video games are bad. But why do you think that video games based on movies also tend to be bad? Thanks and rage on, Everwen. Oh, okay, well, I know the answer to that question. So, you want to take this one? Well, we've answered this one before. It's pretty easy to understand.
Okay, I apologize. Say it again.
You gotta stop looking at Iron Man on your iPad while we're doing this podcast, man. Come on.
Yeah, I kind of zoned out. Sorry.
Ah, boo. Everyone said that movies based on video games tend to be bad, but why do video games based on movies tend to be bad as well?
Time crunch.
Licensing also.
Yeah. Well, it's that these people are given a license and they're either told or they're like, hey, we want the license to this because we think we can make a really good game. Okay, great. And then the people who own the rights to it are like, okay, but here's the restrictions of what you can do with the property.
Yep.
And then that's like, well, that hampers our original vision. It's like, we don't care. You have to adhere to these restrictions. Oh, and we need it in 6 months. As opposed to, multiple years that you can, So it's time crunch and, licensing and it's a whole bunch of things.
You also have to pay for it.
Yeah.
The company has to pay the license holder for access to those characters. So the budget generally tends to not be as high. The time is shorter than it needs to be. You can't delay or whatever because a lot of times you're coming out in conjunction with a movie or a TV show or something like that. And then, just what John said, there's a lot of restrictions as to what you can do with those characters because most places that have a big, like Marvel will have a list of things that you can't do. You can't shoot Spider-Man in the face, right? Yeah. So even if you wanted to make a game where you're like, I want to shoot Spider-Man in the face, and be like, nope, you can't.
I think if you really, there's what is it, Unseen 64, the YouTube show,
okay,
that's on game or Did You Know Gaming?
Okay.
They actually talk about a lot of like games that never got fully made. There's one for Superman and there's one for a Daredevil video game. Watch both of those and you will see what the horror of making a licensed video game is.
Oh, there was one that I was watching a while back that was about a Kid Icarus game that a third-party studio was making and like kept trying to pitch to Nintendo. It was a darker game over the course of like 3 years, and they kept like, maybe, no, and then just no.
But I'm just saying, like from a time crunch kind of aspect, and from a just from a what the studios and the actual publisher can get involved, and like other like the actual rights holders of the license, what they would get involved and say you can and can't do, and just how all of that can just basically just turn into a
clusterfuck. It's a total clusterfuck.
It's one of those things where I don't envy anyone that has to do a licensed game.
No, me neither.
And it's actually part of the reason why I have a little bit more of a guilty pleasure in liking licensed games, because when a licensed game is good, like that's a fucking miracle.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because every obstacle that is placed in front of a company making a licensed game says that game is going to suck.
Absolutely. And just to harp back on it once more, as I tend to do a lot, it's really kind of a shame that there isn't more of an emphasis placed on those things, because we've had a shitload of franchises recently that could totally have really good. I mean, you wouldn't even have to do anything fantastic. You'd totally get throw together a video game that's based in that particular world. The whole Marvel Cinematic Universe is just, as far as I'm concerned, waiting for like a AAA action adventure, third person, bunch of Avengers, different powers, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Or, hell, we played Marvel Ultimate Alliance a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, you make something that was like that. Procedurally generated, Diablo, ish kind of top-down thing. Could totally work. All right, so Jose Luis writes in and says, "Dear Jeff and John, my question revolves around superhero origins." Wow, we're just segueing it out of the park on these questions. And how people are sick of seeing them in every new iteration. I happen to be the minority of people who actually don't mind them all that much. While I do understand when Jeff says everyone knows the origins of Batman, Spider-Man, and such, I can see the frustrations. However, I feel that if one plays with the origin story just right, it can add a new layer to the character or the film itself. While Nolan and Snyder's Bruce Waynes both say their parents die, one became motivated almost out of a sense of guilt, while the other apparently is made out of vengeance for Martha. So my question is, do you think that there are ways of telling these kinds of origin stories that won't feel tired to the viewers? Your listener, Jose Luis. This is PS to respond to something you said in the last podcast. In the original Ringu novel, it actually opens up that a bunch of teens getting killed simultaneously in different areas and finding out later that they all watched the cursed film at the same time. I can't remember at the moment if it was mentioned in the movies, but that wouldn't be the only thing they changed. Like how the original protagonist wasn't a female, and neither was Sadako, technically. Okay. Right. So ways to introduce your character, or ways to do superhero origins where we don't have to have another 10-minute sequence in every movie about how this person got made into superhero.
So, I mean, I actually think that rebooting a franchise or whatever, comics do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it can be done in new and interesting ways. It can be done in ways that are interesting. Hell, one of my favorite, I actually really like the way they retold the origin in The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one. Because literally, it's a montage sequence just showing you what you already know really quickly and then moving on.
Yeah.
And that's really all you need for that. Because, and I think that, it's, I mean, you can, but I do think you can also retell an origin where it's slightly a little bit different. Like, I actually feel like, I was actually reading an article about this, strangely enough, The Punisher, the Thomas Jane one.
Sure.
That is vastly different than the actual Punisher origin, and is completely different than the previous Punisher movie and the Punisher movie that followed it.
Sure.
And it's the entire movie is an origin. Like he is not the Punisher until the very, very like the credits roll and he is going off to be the Punisher.
Sure.
Like the entire movie is a revenge flick. It's not even really a Punisher movie. He's not punishing for injustice. He's getting revenge for the death of his family.
Sure.
And then at the very end of the movie, he's about to like off himself and then goes, "You know what? No. There are other people who aren't getting the justice that I was able to get for myself.
Right.
I'm going to go punish the wicked." And then he goes off and goes and does it. And that is a completely different origin than
I think that it. I don't think this is a hard and fast rule. I think it applies to specific characters.
Yeah.
And the reason that I have a problem with it is because you're going to reboot Spider-Man, right? And it's just, to me, I start watching that new Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Here we go. Because we're going to spend 20 minutes of our 2-hour movie. Here's Peter Parker. He's a nerd. He looks Mary Jane or Gwen or whatever. He lives with this Aunt May, his parents. And then, I'm going to go to this research center, and there's a spider there. And then the spider bites him. And then, what's happening now? I have superpowers. And, I need to go. I'm going to become a wrestler. And, the thief runs by, and I wasn't going to stop him because it wasn't my job. And then, Uncle Ben gets killed. And, with great power comes. And it's like the main problem that I have.
How many times have we actually gotten that movie, the origin in movies?
Well, the
Twice.
thing is,
we only ever got it twice.
Okay.
That's a bad example.
Okay. I don't think, you know what? I'll just put it this way. To me, it's as a fan of comics, I think that origin stories are super easy to do. And I think that I don't think you need an origin story for most characters, especially now. I like the way they did Spider-Man's origin story in Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Because it was just like,
he's already Spider-Man.
He's already Spider-Man. Tony Stark shows up and he's like, I want to give you a Spider-Man suit. And then, boom, he's Spider-Man. Like, we don't need to go into it. Or the way the Falcon was handled in the MCU, where it's just like, I got this thing, fly around in it, I'm the Falcon. Boom, good to go. The problem that I have with it is that when Batman versus Superman started up and we're killing Bruce Wayne's parents again, and it's just like, holy fucking Lord, would you please... I don't even need to see this. All I need to do is have him start and looking at the 2 graves out in his backyard that say.
Well, the problem is that Batman's entire being is so rooted in that one moment.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
The whole reason he's Batman is because his parents were killed.
Yes, but that's the thing is that
the whole reason he continues to be Batman is to make sure that never happens to anybody else.
Right, but. It's not like every Batman story is about him making sure that nobody else's parents get killed. That's just the setup, and then after that, we're off in a whole different direction. Like, Batman very rapidly evolves from, I want to wipe out crime in Gotham, to Jokers and Riddlers and other stuff. That happens very, very quickly to the point where I feel like, this is completely off the rocker. I don't even think you need to tell. I don't even think you need to tell an origin story. You know how you tell an origin story for Batman? One line where you start the movie, your new Batman movie, you start it, he's in the cave, he's at the computer, he's in the Batman costume, he's doing whatever. Alfred comes in with a tin of sandwiches and he puts it down and he's like, I know your parents were killed, and you have to live the life of making a Batman, but this is nothing you're going to do is going to bring your parents back. And he's like, I don't care. I have to rid the city of crime. And boom, that's it. There's your origin story. Done. You need 15 minutes of slow motion pearls coming off the back of that fucking gun. All right?
Hey. Zack Snyder had to throw that slow motion in somewhere.
Jesus, God, Jack.
He had to get that out of his system somewhere.
Okay.
That was the only scene he could put it in.
I mean, as much as I don't like it, I'd almost rather extend that origin sequence a la what happened in Man of Steel, where you make the glossed over parts of the origin, like you show Krypton, more of Krypton. Like, if we were going to do that for Batman, I'd almost rather have more like just Thomas and Martha Wayne raising Bruce Wayne. Let's get to know Thomas and Martha a little bit more, because in the movies and in a lot of the comics, we don't really know shit about them. We know he was a surgeon, she's just a wife, and they live in the house, and Alfred's there. But, let's take a little bit of time and hang out with them a little bit. And then, and then at the end of that sequence, be like, all right, get it ready. Maybe have a whole thing where where Bruce Wayne's dad's talking about what it means to be a hero or help people. And then at the very end, he's like, all right, now put your shoes on. We're going to go watch Zorro. Come on, let's go. We're going to go see Mask of Zorro. And he's like, yeah, I love Mask of Zorro. And then just like have the door close really, ominously, and then just be like 10 years later. And it's like, boom. And
yeah, well, I mean, like I said, there's different ways, but I'm just saying, like, you have to reference. There has to be a reference to that in some way, shape, or form, because that, and even if it's not like reference to their death, it would have to be the way Mask of the Phantasm did it, where it's just he is haunted by it.
Sure, because
that is the thing that drives him. Is he is so haunted about this one moment in his life that he has dedicated himself to dressing up like a bat,
right,
and going out and stopping crime.
But that's not what the Batman story is about.
That is exactly what Batman's story is about.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Batman's story is about what happens after he puts on the costume and goes out to go fight crime. It's about the fighting of crime, not about...
That is caused because of this deep-seated haunting of this event.
Yes. Absolutely, you are correct.
You're talking about cause and effect.
Right, but what I'm saying is that we all know why Batman dresses up like a bat. You don't have to spend any amount of time in your movie telling me why he dresses up like a bat. We all know that his parents got killed. Now he dresses up like a bat. Now let's have a movie where he says that. You know what? Perfect example, okay? Dark Knight that everybody loves. They didn't feel the need to re-show you Batman's parents getting killed in Dark Knight. There's more than enough moral ambiguity in what's going on, and I don't know, and should I be Batman? Should I not be Batman? I want to go out with fucking Maggie Gyllenhaal. What's going on? And blah, blah, blah. They didn't feel the need to show you Batman's parents getting killed or drag that shit out in all of the speeches that they had in the entire
Actually, every time Alfred spoke, he's basically like, this is not the life your parents wanted for you. This is not what I was supposed to do.
No, he's talking about the fucking size of some men just want to watch the world burn and all that other shit. He may say that one time, but those movies, see, the thing is that the amount of times that Alfred talks about the parents in Dark Knight is about as much origin story as I feel like you should have in a Batman thing, because that movie is about the Joker, Gotham City, Batman's internal things, all those things. That's the core of your movie, and you don't have to keep reminding me that Batman's parents got shot. Lots of people's parents got killed. All right, anyway, sorry, Batman. Sorry. I don't know. I think about it. I think Deadpool was a way better origin story because it was peppered in, like, Deadpool starts in the middle, shows us the origin story while these things are happening, and the origin story is an origin story that I don't know. I don't know how Deadpool became Deadpool.
Yeah.
And so they show that.
It's pretty accurate.
And they show it, and it's fine. I think that in this particular example, I'm just like, there's like a handful of characters, and I think that they're Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman, that you just don't need to show me anymore. You could do like you're talking about with Incredible Hulk. You could put it during the title sequence. You can have a montage during the title sequence that just shows guy got bit by spider, put on red leotard, Uncle Ben's dead, I'm Spider-Man now. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't need all that movie time wasted, because for me, it just feels like half of this movie is going to be origin story that I already know. I know what's going to happen.
The new Spider-Man movie?
No. I'm just kind of talking in general about Spider-Man, or Superman, or Batman, or the Flash for that matter. You know what? That's like when they showed the stuff at Comic-Con about, Flash was in Suicide Squad, right? Flash just shows up briefly in Suicide Squad. They didn't need to tell me how Flash got his powers. In fact, they didn't in Batman versus Superman. All they showed was they just showed the Flash, and he's got speed powers. And in a world where you have a man that dresses up like a bat and a Kryptonian who flies around and General Zod and Darkseid and all this other BS, fine. Yeah, he runs fast. Like, I don't need...
Yeah, but he's in the movie for all of like 5 minutes.
But in the Justice League movie that's coming up, like, I guess what I'm saying is in the Justice League movie that's coming up, is it really pivotal to the plot of that movie for you to know how the Flash got his powers?
Don't know.
Like, for the CW TV show, it makes sense because it's, long form type of thing. But do I really? I mean, you've Aquaman show up and be like, who are you? King of Atlantis. All right, want to be on my team? Cool. Boom. Done. What are your powers? I swim and talk to fishes. Great. I don't need...
Or what is it, that meme image I just saw today where it's like it's like Batman talking to Aquaman going, so what exactly do you do? And he's like, I fight the villains of the sea. I've never heard of any villains of the sea. That's because I do my job.
Well, take the Netflix series, right? Jessica Jones and Luke Cage in the Netflix series, they don't bother with how they got their powers, right? Or
yeah, they do a little bit. They talk about Jessica Jones.
How did she get her powers?
It's a car accident. She talks like it's not the first thing you get, but it is a thing that gets brought up. She's in a car accident and gets waste dumped on her. That gives her powers.
Is that what happened?
Yeah,
okay.
It's when her family dies.
All right, fuck it, I'm full of shit.
And I almost guarantee you that the Luke Cage series will touch on how he got his powers.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. It just irritates me because it feels to me like a cheap way to fill time rather than making your movie. Like, I'd rather watch a movie about Batman than how Batman became Batman.
Okay, at this point, I agree with you. Batman. Everyone knows Batman's origin.
Sure.
Everyone knows Superman's origin. Everyone knows Spider-Man's origin.
Sure.
But whenever you're doing a movie, there will be those people that if you're trying to make your movie for the wider audience, for everybody, they need to know how Tony Stark got the way he is.
Okay.
And they need to know that Steve Rogers was injected with a super soldier serum in the first movie that's for Captain America.
Sure.
They need to know that, how Ant-Man got this suit.
Sure.
They need to know why Peter Quill is in space when there's no other humans in space.
Sure.
These are things, and you may say, well, they're lesser known characters. Like, no, it's a thing of that even if they're like Wonder Woman.
Right.
Why is she in what is like they're going to explain her origin.
Absolutely.
And why, even though she's a super well-known character and everyone knows she is a warrior from Amazon and she is the daughter of Amazonian queen that is
Hippolyta.
I know it's Hippolyta. I'm just speaking in general terms. That she's the daughter of an Amazonian queen and this is a world of nothing but women and a man comes to woman's world and she ends up leaving to go find out about the world of man.
Sure.
Like everyone knows this. Not really.
Okay.
You know this. I know this.
Right.
Other comic nerds know this.
Right.
The mass public, they don't know this. They just know Linda Carter spins around and becomes Wonder Woman.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, specifically with that particular thing. Do you think that Batman versus Superman would have been a better movie because they don't really talk about Wonder Woman in there? She just kind of shows up.
Yeah.
And in the third act, boom, I'm Wonder Woman, yo.
Yeah.
Like they've got one picture of her so you know that she's been around for a long time. And then the third one fucking shows up all Wonder Woman'd out with a big shield and a sword, whatever. Do you think that there were plenty of people, do you think that there were people in the audience who were like, whoa, stop this movie. Who's she? Where'd she come from? How'd she get those powers? What kind of powers does she have? I need
No,
to know these
because they
things.
pretty much said, hey, there's going to be another movie that explains all that shit.
But do you think that if there wasn't a movie that explained that shit, that would be a problem?
For some people, yes.
Okay. All right.
If they didn't leave the breadcrumb saying, this will be explained later,
Yeah.
then yeah, some people would be upset.
But I mean, there's not going to be a Flash movie or a Cyborg movie, are
Yeah,
there?
there are.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Actually, I think the rumor is that the Cyborg movie is getting canceled, and instead it's going to be a Teen Titans movie. But there is going to be a Flash movie. They've already named who the villain is, and
Okay.
and everything. So.
I don't know. I just feel like I feel like there's ways around it, and that especially when you're making something like a superhero movie. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate all of them. It's mostly just those three that I said. It's mostly just, oh, hello, Mr. Parker, get on the bus. We're going on a field trip to a lab where they're working on animal things. And It's just like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen there. Or like, oh, we're walking home from Mask of Zorro and Martha's got pearls on. Yeah. I wonder what. In fact, if you wanted to do something to actually answer this person's question,
okay, yeah,
to do it differently, you know what I do? I would have them get all the way home from Mask of Zorro and have his parents get killed in a break-in later on that night, where a bunch of dudes come into the house to rob the Wayne family of their jewels. Because the cogent point is that Bruce Wayne's parents got killed, not the Mask of Zorro pearls out in the street in the thing. If you were going to actually,
but that's iconic. I mean, that's the thing. The reason they show is because that's what everyone that does know it, that's what they know. And if you change something like that, then people might be upset.
People can be upset no matter what.
Yeah,
I'm upset that they showed it the way that it happened in the comics.
I'm going to say this.
I'm going to say let them.
I'm actually going to defend Batman v Superman, and I want to stress this because I fucking hate that movie.
No, but wait, hold on. Wait, just a second. I feel like that would be more subversive because everybody in the audience, it would almost be like if Spider-Man goes to the research place and the spider lands on, like, he's looking at the thing and the spider's coming down and then he turns around and the spider lands on his backpack. And then you spend like another 10 minutes of him driving somewhere else because you're expecting the spider to bite him. You're expecting the Waynes to get murdered right outside of the theater in the alley like they always do. So if you just took those sequences and extended them a little bit further and made the circumstances the same, but the end result, or the circumstances different, but the end result the same, I feel like that.
Well, I feel like that's more buying time and trying to fill up screen time than actually which is the thing you're pissed off about.
If you're going to do it, if the thesis is that you have to do it no matter what, at least do it slightly differently. Because when Peter Parker's standing there and there's a spider coming down towards him, I know what's going to happen. He's going to get bit by a spider. He's going to get spider powers. He's going to turn into Spider-Man. Like,
because that's his origin,
right? I don't know. Sorry, go on.
But my point being is that Batman v Superman, hate the movie. But the whole reason they had to show Martha and Thomas Wayne
I know where
is
you're going with
because
this.
of the Martha scene.
Yeah, I know
which
where you're going with
I agree should not have been in that movie and should have been deleted. Should have been removed because it's the stupidest fucking plot point in the movie, aside from the other things that are stupid about it. But because of they made it so integral to the fucking stupid plot that it had to be there.
You could have just as easily done what I was talking about, had a scene with them in Wayne Manor, hang around as a family, and had Thomas Wayne say, all right, Martha, come on, let's go. We're going to go to the movies or whatever. All that you really needed to do was establish that her name was Martha. That's pretty much it. And so I don't know. I guess I just feel that like there's a million different ways to do that, and there's a part of me that also sometimes it works. Like half of Ant-Man was origin story, and it was cool because you were learning all that stuff about somebody you know before. Again, it's mostly just Superman, Batman, Spider-Man because fuck it, I know how those characters got made, and I'm tired of watching them have origin stories.
And that's why we're not going to get an origin story in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
They've even said they're not even going to talk. I mean, they might talk about it, but it's not going to be featured. It's not going to be a big thing. It's good.
I might even throw the Hulk in there. Guy gets blown up by a bomb. There's kids joyriding. He gets blown up by a bomb.
Well, actually, they've never done that origin in the movies.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Usually they go the Bixby movie route where it's a lab and he runs into a room to save somebody or to experiment on himself. And
mostly to me, it doesn't really matter because it's how you write the character after that's more important to me than how they get made. All right, one more question. This one comes in from Michael, a.k.a. Funkarius, who says, hey, what's up? My question is about burgers. Do you like burgers that have like a million toppings and are as tall as your head? Or do you like burgers that have a few select toppings and are more manageable / less messy? Thanks for being rad, Michael, a.k.a. Funkarius.
I like a burger with cheese and that's it.
Yep.
Nothing else. Just
ketchup,
meat, cheese, bun. Nothing.
Isn't it dry?
That's plain and dry. Yeah. That's how I like my burgers.
But isn't it dry? I mean, do you have like drink a lot of water to is the bun real dry? No? Okay.
Well, it depends on where you get the burger. I mean, like I said, one of my favorite burger places is specifically because of the bun that they have. It's the same burger you can get anywhere else, but I mean, it's actual like an actual burger and not like McDonald's or Burger King.
Okay.
It's the same burger, but it's a hamburger with American cheese and then a bun, and then the bun is what fucking makes that thing.
Okay.
I actually have a feeling that, in my opinion, if I go to a place and they fuck up a burger that's just meat, cheese, and bread, then that place ain't worth a fucking damn. Because if you can fuck up that, then you fuck up everything else.
Okay.
In my opinion. But I also am a very picky eater, so that's also the thing.
I'm a real big believer in food architecture. I don't like a million things, and I hate it when you go to a place and they make a real sloppy burger. Like the way that it's like what Five Guys running out or somewhere like that will like wrap your burger in a thing because they've made it so greasy and full of garbage that if you were to hold it with your hand, you're going to have grease running down your arm.
Yeah.
There's a way to make food that holds together, and if you're putting so much on there that it's just all falling apart, then I feel like you've kind of missed the point of having a sandwich, because the whole point of a sandwich is that you should be able to hold it with your hand and then shove it into your face hole as fast as possible. So I fall somewhere in the middle. I generally lettuce, tomato, mayo, mustard, onions, maybe some. If they didn't want to charge you like $6 for guacamole everywhere, I put some a little bit of avocado on I put avocado on my Whataburger before. That shit's good. But generally the big ones. I don't know. There's a place in Seattle called Fat Burger that I used to go to.
Yeah.
Where you get like a triple with a fried egg and chili on it.
Yeah.
Which is so decadent that I'm willing to excuse the amount that falls into your lap when you're eating it. But why not just burrito? Burrito is really the way to go if you want all that stuff because it's fully contained. You go to Chipotle, you go to Freebirds, or have you ever had any of those? The Taco Bell? Well, you don't like the all the different craziness. But yeah, go find your local big ass burrito chain and get yourself a burrito if that's what you're looking for. You can get hamburger in there.
But burgers, I mean, they're good. I mean, I like one of my favorite burger places here in Austin is a place called Mooney's. Mm-hmm. It's actually, I think it's a local chain.
I think so.
Yeah,
there's only that one, right? Right around the corner.
There's like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's one right around the corner from here. And then also, I think they are the ones who make the burgers, or at least their cooks are the same cooks that are at like at the Hideout, the bar that you go to, because it's the same bread.
Oh, okay.
Like it's the same bread, same style of burger, everything. And so like the guy who owns Hideout also owns like a bunch of other bars.
Yep.
And like all of them have the same burger type that's from the same one from Mooney's.
Okay.
And it's my favorite burger. Like
okay.
I was really, because I didn't know that guy owned like a bunch of or a bunch of bars.
Yeah.
All I knew about was the Poorhouse.
Yeah.
And then it closed down. I was like, oh man, that was my favorite burger in town. And then someone was like, why don't you just go to Mooney's? It's the same thing. I was like, what? And I would fucking love that burger.
Yeah, that was back in the salad days where I could coax John to the Poorhouse because he just wanted to get one of the hamburgers that they had.
Fucking good ass burger, man.
And then I get to sit there and drink the whole time. All right, and that is our show for the week. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, John, for coming by. Mail at rageselect.com is the email address. And without further ado, I think we should go get some burgers. Sure. Let's go get some burgers. We're gonna get some burgers.